Villese in the blue. We have a pause already. Villese is the Franks, and then DauT as the Lithuanians.
That's an interesting pause timing, honestly. Like, something has to be wrong with you. It's not like, oh, my chair is weird, because you realized that a bit earlier. It's like, I have the wrong hotkeys or the wrong graphics overlay or something. Well,
Yeah,
we will see.
we'll find out.
We had a game yesterday, Lithuanians against Franks, and wasn't it including the max there as well against Dogao? I think so, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, a lot of thoughts clearly in that team happening around that matchup, and I think, well, we are expecting to go scouts, and I remember yesterday the max went for early pikemen and monks instead of double stable and monks.
Yeah, and I think he was a little bit behind too, because he had lost a villager or two in the scout rush. Yeah, something's going on here. And it is DauT's scout doesn't seem to be moving much. So some type of an issue. I don't.
Did the sheep in? No.
Yeah, like his scout wasn't moving, but we can only speculate. What's your prediction for the series, Nilly, as we wait for them to sort this out?
Let me quickly see. Yeah, villages are the same, so they're both queued up villages. The expectation, well, my answer obviously changed heavily in the last 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
I still think DauT should be the favorite going into it, but I think DauT, for the first time, actually should make it a bit more wild, because Villese looked so clean in the standard metagame.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is the same for both the casters and also the viewers, that like maybe Villese like actually could get a win today in this best of 5. So I think the safe bet is still to expect DauT win something like 3-1, 3-2, but I don't think DauT's going to sweep here today. I think Villese is going to get a win. I think Villese is going to make it really competitive, and I think we all love to see DauT in games. He's so fun to watch, and his strategy's so clean, and plus he's such a fun personality and a legend of the game. But it would also be great for a player like Villese to beat, well, 2 of your teammates, Nilly, to beat Tato, and then beat DauT, and then after the tournament be like, hey, don't forget about me in the upcoming tournaments. I'm a real beast. So we'll see. What do you think of DauT's map, though? Oh, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, especially for those standards, he has to be extremely happy. Like 3 wood lines relatively defensively, another one at the front that he can use, defensive gold. And we kind of figured out what the reason was for the pause, I believe. They did put the standard 2-minute delay, but starting from this stage on, I think there won't be any delays.
I see. Okay, so someone was like, what are you doing? Why is there a delay? Okay, fair enough. Is there a real reason for that? I feel like there's not much of a difference. I guess it's just the choice of the admins.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like the first ones were like, well, we could open drama topics there. Let's not go into it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So
those stages are without delay.
All right. So DauT's got an incredible map. This is a bit of an exaggeration probably, but I think this is one of the best maps I've seen in King of the Desert. It's like the Arabia in ranked games not too long ago. He can easily wall his base. He's got a back berries, back gold. Like, what more do you want if you're going into scouts? And then for Villese, he does have wall potential on the left side and in the front, but there's more to do. And then his golds are on the same spot. And I guess there, if he gets wall up, Nilly, he'll actually be in a good spot too, because all of his golds will be behind those walls.
Yeah, that's true. At the top there, it's a bit more of an investment. And yeah, the big question is, well, after we're expecting both players to open with scouts, how many spearmen do you have to do to kind of secure yourself? DauT will have the smaller wall. Villese, I wouldn't be surprised if he's forced into like 2, maybe even 3 spearmen here.
Yeah, exactly. I think DauT's going to know the power of the Lithuanian spears, and it's pretty common anyways if you're expecting a lot of scouts to send some spears forward. So you're almost forced to play defense as Franks here, are you not? Like, even with the extra HP on the scouts, I feel like in many ways, your spears are going to arrive to your base with a scout or 2 pretty early, and since the spears get out across the map, like, you probably just stay at home quite a bit if you're in Villese's position. I think that's what happened with Max yesterday when he played the same Civ matchup against Dogao.
Yeah, the question is like how fast do you really want to go up with Franks, right? Can you maybe squeeze out a pop 19 and be on par with Lithuanians to not fall too far behind? Then the game is a bit smoother, but obviously your economy is worse.
Yeah, I think also going up one pop faster as it does a lot of good things here for Lithuanians, and that tends to be the norm. I think it's 19 population up against 20 population, which is pretty standard. I think it's probably wise for DauT, or for Villese, sorry, to stick to the normal build and go for 20 pop, but he thinks twice about that, and he will go up with 19 pop.
Holy moly, 851 by both. Super strong Dark Edge here by both players. And yeah, happy to see this for now. Very even.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to really compare. We could talk about, like, how many did they send the wood? Do they have 2 lumber camps? Looks like DauT is only on 1 lumber camp and using some straggler trees, but it'll be about how they lock down their bases. This is the type of Civ matchup, Nearly, that tends to go, at the very least, to late Castle Age, because you will not see games end in Feudal. You'll see leads come in, but games will not end at that stage.
2 lumber camps, so Villese is going for the bit more defensive, no, I won't really call it greedy, but the more economic approach there. Will be walled at the bottom, and, well, DauT sees everything. Villese more on the greedy side, even pushing another ostrich.
Yeah,
Not
so
really scouting.
Yeah, just to explain this, as both players will probably engage here. Nice play from DauT. He's like, no, you're not taking that ostrich. But he's going to have to get out of here, right? Because he'll have less scout HP in a bit. I got a hit. Okay, now they should both fight. And now DauT's at a disadvantage, but there's some hills. Okay, so I was just curious if Villese was going to be able to get his eco upgrades. He is pulling it off with the stable. But it's pretty uncommon to see 19 pop scouts and then have like 3 or 4 villagers building like he's been doing. So I guess he's not worried about adding too many farms just yet after the additional ostrich and all the extra goats underneath the TC.
Yeah, looks pretty solid, and yeah, still so much more food. So maybe even could have made a build with 1 lumber camp work. Will be completely walled there, and this will be such a big mirror. And yeah, I'm surprised. Both players seem very confident in a very meta game here. Apparently,
DauT got housed, so that will actually put him near a villager behind. His houses were a bit late. There's things to think about if it's a mirror game. I think I'd be more like half a villager at this point. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, DauT even added the 2nd lumber camp, and normally that shift comes in soon where... Oh, here come the spearmen, Nilly. Okay, so Villese not completely walled in the front, trying to wall and play defensive. 2 forward spearmen and 2 scouts. This could be really frustrating for Villese to deal with.
yes, 8 villagers there, goes for some walls, looks really clean, and
Wow.
yeah, we'll deal with that quite easily. Now walls behind this is sending his army back, and he opted for the a bit smaller walls, not including his secondary goals.
Yeah, and he's sending 3 scouts forward. DauT's probably thinking, all right, I'm doing a great job here. I've got 3 scouts and 3 spearmen now. And guys, the best way to defend from this is add 1 or 2 more spearmen than what your opponent has here. So you're looking at 3 or 4 spears, maybe 5 needed for Villese, or some quick walls, and he's doing well with the quick walls. He's on point. And then DauT is also on point, has a spear at home to defend.
Order are really nice.
Yeah, pulled that villager away nice and early. 1 scout still annoying, and maybe finds the villager kill there. Nope, not really. Game, well, lots of army out on the map, but not a lot of kills, although army count 9 to 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving this game so far because there hasn't... no villagers have gone down, as far as I can see. And both players have excellent awareness and micro. Like here, DauT, he sees he can take out a spearman, says, okay, no problem. And it's going to be a headache for both of them over the next couple minutes. But I think DauT, offensively at least, even though it's a bit harder to control, is in the better position because there's less spears from Villese there. And he's got 4 scouts versus the 3 of Villese at his base. But yeah, no full walls yet because of the armies from both players.
Okay, let's fast forward into mid to late Castle Age here. While we see villager has to be pulled at the left-hand side, and yeah, DauT will just be fine with the spearmen. Often do we see both players go for monks, knights, and pikemen. A great counter to that is Axeman. But Villese, look at his 2 stone spots. Both of them very open outside of his base. He can't go to his favorite unit in this matchup.
I remember Max went out. Oh, as finally a villager will go down. Villese is not the type to quick wall in villagers. So that villager goes down on the bottom side. But I think Max built a TC on stone that was outside of his base. Like he had walled, and then he left his walls to build a TC on stone so he could eventually get to the castle. So see if Villese has to do the same thing. But those would be far from ideal spots to place a town center and castle.
The one at the front there, yeah, you can't really have it as another wood line. Well, we see the spear defense being pretty solid, so it's just thinking who gets to castle age a bit earlier. I think that's actually the approach, and it's actually good that those two probably trained some together and realized, okay, X-Men are strong here. The Max did look pretty damn good in that matchup. Got to an ideal army composition, then the tech switch into Paladins later on, and yeah, probably a TC on the outside feels likely at the moment for Villese.
Yeah, I mean, it's the approach that Max took, but there's a big difference between what the bases looked like, if you remember, because there was a stone next to a wood line. So anytime you can place a TC next to a wood line and a stone or a gold, you're never asking any real questions about that. So we'll see, but that's a good point. And also, remember, Villese going for the shorter walls, so he's not securing the golds, outside of these palisade walls. Not the biggest deal, because he could always break out and place TCs, but an area that DauT could maybe pressure.
Yeah, but with Villese base design, it basically means the economy that Villese wants to set up in the long game will be kind of outside of his walls. So a lot of raiding potential there for DauT. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a lot of castle age.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a decision thing. Not like it's poor decision making from Villese. I think it's just both players applied pressure. You could argue that Villese walled more. No, he did wall more, and he has less within his walls, or it seems just less ideal for him. So DauT benefiting from his map a bit. And also, you've got to play your map well, and DauT's done that.
Yeah, but DauT not including his gold either.
Yeah,
but it just feels so natural, like, to build the first TCs outside. DauT has a reasonable one there, although he's a guy that really loves to build TC inside as well. Well, we see both players on the way to Castle Age. DauT 3 villagers behind, both having wheelbarrows, and wheelbarrow DauT roughly 2 villagers ahead in the timing, so a bit more idle time, as you mentioned earlier. Being housed there didn't really help either.
But Nilly, the level. Like, there's no question that these guys are in shape right now. Like, no micro mistakes. I can't even say that Villese losing that one villager in the south is a mistake. It's just that DauT was patrolling around heavily, and there was a lot for Villese to wall. Ooh, DauT adding more spearmen. Will we see pikemen from him, possibly? I think that's a good play.
Yeah, not unlikely. And I would love to see a forward villager then, maybe getting a monastery up. As you can see, Villese very active with his scouts, being out on the map, trying to get an idea where the relics are.
Wow.
Some of them more in the top, looks pretty good. And something we didn't mention yet, DauT actually only now with the horse color timing.
Ooh, interesting. You know, that's been a little bit more common in King of the Desert, is skipping horse color and then getting it when you arrive in Castle Age. With those early up times anyways. I've seen it more in this tournament than I think I've even seen in rated games. But I don't know if it's intentional.
I think that's maybe on men-at-arm build-ups. Scout build-ups, like 90% of the time you want to have horse color instantly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with man-at-arms, you're definitely not going to see it. But I swear yesterday, Leary went, oh, he went most to every game. I forget. I felt like there were some examples, but I'm curious what DauT's opening is going to be. Is there going to be a monastery? He's actually placing a TC on his main golds, and there is a monastery at home as well.
Okay, and relics, yeah, as we mentioned, 4 rather than the top, 1 there at the bottom, so all can be contested. Spearman count looks scary here with Lithuanians. It is easier for you to dictate those fights against the Frank player.
Yeah, and DauT's not even, it doesn't seem like he's really concerned with excellent micro there, just baiting with the scouts. But it doesn't seem like DauT's too concerned to get pikemen right now. I think he's going to opt for eco. That level of spearman.
Overchop at the woodline person.
The first mistake, possibly. and Villese will pay the price here. I believe the TC will still go up, but DauT does the right thing and sends a knight over to the golds. And that's one villager down because of the scouts. That will be another villager down because of the knight. And the scouts will not finish off the other villager. What a good save there from Villese. Wow.
Yeah, DauT could have gone for a bit more there. We'll lose everything now. Nice walls behind that one. And it felt like a mistake, but honestly, punishment wasn't crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, DauT's at home, feeling good. Villese is on the back foot here. He is placing the TC where we said on the stone. And now Villese fighting this, seeing, you don't have pikemen. I've gotten lots of upgrades in my knights. Your spearmen are going to disappear, DauT. And that's a good fight from Villese, and I love his response, Nilly. Could have been so much worse for him. Maybe DauT will be upset with how little he did with that overchop.
I think it also was a lot like, I'm keeping you at home and I can pick the relics. Look at that. 2 monks already on the way home again with the relic.
Yep. Yeah, I think that makes sense as well. I mean, at the end of the day, there's definitely benefit of being there. I guess DauT was never interested in getting pikemen in the first place. So my concern for the Lord now is, what's his army comp going to look like if he's only on 1 stable and he's not making spearmen? It's just going to be monks and knights. He will have the extra attack on his knights because of the relics being brought in with Lithuanians, but he could always be outproduced.
Well, if you go full 1 monastery, monks, and 1 stable knights, it is tough to break you. Like, look at the other side. Villese, yeah, 2 stable monastery, but production isn't crazy. He's only 1 knight ahead.
I like how Villese even researched Lightcav, and he has some of these guys patrolling around in different areas of the map. There's a gold in the south, there's a gold in the outside of DauT's base, and a relic to the north of there. I think we're going to see a very similar game to what Dogao and Max was yesterday. As Villese retreats, he loses 1 knight to a conversion.
Oh, and actually that monk is now going into the pretty poor direction. Look at that. Villese, I would have loved if he'd shift-clicked that one to the top. DauT, is he seeing that monk going into his vision? Not yet.
He's going to come more to the south, so he's not seeing it. And now, you called it, Nilly. He shift-clicked it around, so DauT won't see that. I think we're going to see pikemen here. I think DauT should get ahead of the game with the pikeman upgrade. But Villese, if he plays this like Max did yesterday, will probably start making some spears and maybe a second barracks.
Yeah, absolutely not unlikely. But does he see that Villese is now on stone? Yes, he does. So I think the castle edge push is more unlikely now. I think it's more likely that he goes for some knights, keeps map control, and then probably tries to go up a bit earlier. Maybe a castle on that hill that he's camping at the moment could be lovely.
So DauT wants to go knights and monks, and that's it. And Villese has Lightcav, knights, monks, and pikemen is being researched right now. So I think that DauT's push is a little bit fragile in that the monks could be taken out of the equation pretty quickly. And DauT actually gets some conversions on knights, and this is so messy.
Some monks still alive there, 2 surviving. That was really solid for DauT. Now going for the monk kills himself. Can't really find the kills though. Only gets 1. And it feels like Villese, if he now goes mass pikeman, he will control the center, and then he is the one that can build the aggressive castle. Well,
he's placing a defensive one. What's really weird about Lithuanians is, like, does pikeman even counter a knight that has 10+4 attack on the hill? Like, with the hill and this many knights and then a few monks to heal and get conversions, you'd need quite a few pikemen there. So I think that the benefit of having Franks is you can place 1 castle safe, and then maybe the next castle, if you win a fight, can be offensive and on that hill. DauT is really interested in holding that. And he's on stone as well at home, but it'll take him quite a while to get enough to build his own castle.
Yeah, I think it's more of a plan to be an Imp castle. He's going for 40Cs as well, so it's not going to be hyper-aggression here in Castle Age. He wants to boom behind this one. Maybe we'll find some villager kills.
Yeah, he's actually going in here. Scale Barding's not even in yet. That's not an upgrade that's delayed this often, but with Lithuanians and the extra attack, DauT feels like he can do well here. And Nilly, he's doing enough damage. Scale Barding is in. That's a DauT castle, but DauT's the one forcing it. What crazy aggression here. 23 military against 4.
Holy moly, and army value 3k to 500 just smashes through that one. Not enough mons there. The barracks, which came a bit late, only 2 barracks in general. Did it have so much, well, time collecting all the stone, building the castle, but if it doesn't go up, that was a lot of wasted resources.
Yeah, if we're looking for positives, I think that castle goes up for Villese. He still has decent eco. He is behind a little bit, but it's not massive. I'd say big negative is that DauT, after seeing the castles finished, can just attack palisade walls and break right in. And Villese is going to be in trouble yet again. So I love how DauT is just says, forget about pikemen. I'm just going to make knights. I'll worry about pikemen later on.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that makes it very easy for Villese to go simply for a halberdier push, right? So eventually, I think DauT will need a second unit. The question will be, is he trying to go for halberdiers himself, or is he going something out of the archer range?
Yeah, DauT running back home. There's still 1 relic, and that is to the north of DauT's base, but we'll worry more about DauT's units inside of Villese's eco. Does DauT want to go in here? Because you could maybe get trapped if you go too far.
Also some conversions here. Does an okayish job. Lightcav dies. Pikeman converted. Meanwhile, Knights chasing this one back, and timings won't even be comparable. Look at that. DauT clicking up any second. Villese sits at 40 food.
Yeah, this is DauT recognizing I'm already ahead. I don't need to dive too far in here. At the very least, in this attack,
too far in and dive under the GC.
Seriously, great timing on that. But he kills a few villagers, and he also is delaying farms, and none of his farms are delayed. So like, there's been a few of these attacks where DauT just says, whatever. It's not going to be, might not be the prettiest fight, even though the KD is insane. I'm just going to control things. I'm just going to stay here, make him react to me. It's so intelligent from DauT. And do you think he goes like with his own help? Because the only risk here, I feel, is if he makes too many knights. But maybe not if he gets Cavalier. I don't know.
At the moment, no upgrades in that direction. By the way, he did clear up the scout at the left-hand side, so is going for the relic number 3.
Ooh.
For now, still full knight production.
Yeah, full knight production. No tech switch whatsoever. And he's got more knights. Another upgrade coming in. These Lithuanian knights, it's only going to be stronger if he gets that other relic. They're so strong. Yeah, DauT, he engages against the pikemen.
I don't really like that too much. Yeah, you're still winning, but you're trading off a lot of stuff in Castle Age against the perfect counter against you. With 50% imp timing, I think he could have waited and just wait for the upgrades.
Yeah, that maybe another fight where he's taking it so he has control, as relic number 3 is on the way for him. I heard his castle went up, and he's actually made the castle not in the forward hill, but back at home. It's a little bit of a surprise to me, but then again, he's raiding on the other side with the knights.
Yeah, it was a really safe one, and that raid is just beautiful. Oh god, with that damage output, I think he still 4 hits the villagers. 1 HP left there after the 3rd hit, and forces so many idle villagers. Look at that, over 30 now.
Yeah, and another situation where Villese is just trying to recover. He's making units. He's probably going to be able to kill these knights, but then the next wave will be stronger from DauT, just as it has been before. Game 1 is going according to plan for the Lord. This has been amazing. I really felt like he would tech switch. He just doesn't care.
Well, that's a very DauT thing for sure. Now reaches Imperial Age, and Villese looks at the score, looks at his own Castle Age versus Imperial Age, and has to tap this one out.
Damn, man. So the Scout and Spear Wars were pretty close. DauT had a slight edge in that he was able to get his walls up. And DauT killed 1 villager from Villese. But then the opening in Castle, DauT kind of confused me a bit. Got forging, added 5 to 6 spearmen, got in, sniped a few villagers, and there was just only knights from that point forward, nearly. And I'm not sure if Villese maybe needed to do something different there, or if that's just too hard to stop from DauT.
It is so weird, right? It was a flawless game early on, and then you said it. The first mistake of the game was the small overchop. Therefore, Villese needed to go back home. DauT had the map control, quickly got 2 relics, and then he had an advantage all game long with the knight fight.
Yeah, and maybe if he tech switches, he never gets to imp that fast because of further food investment, and then it gives Villese a chance to go Axeman. So that might have been in the back of his mind, but 10+5 attack on those knights at the end of the game, and DauT gets the first win. Do you think Villese is going to be greatly disappointed there with his performance, or do you think that it was just a few small moments and he can take some games from DauT today?
I don't really know how his mindset is in those situations. It was a relatively even game, right? It wasn't messy. It was just very clear. And those were the games he won yesterday. So in
Yeah.
his shoes, I would be so confused. Like, what really went wrong here? Is DauT so much better than Shadow? Normally, no.
Yeah. All right. Well, DauT with 95% of the map explored, more of every resource except stone, and we'll think about the next game.
Checks for streaming on my birthday.
We normally would have a little bit of
planning
time
my
to
Twitch
speculate
baby
on
for
the
9
civs, but if
months.
there's no delays now, the next game might have already started. um,
I think they're still in the game. I think Crasini is there telling them, guys, rule change from now on.
yeah, okay, so no spec delay anymore on these game rooms, which is good. All right, so any thoughts on what Velez goes to? I know he loves Huns. He picked Huns last, but Huns probably not the civ you want to go to when you're down a game. Sad to say that, but
Also, I don't see Hans being too hot against either Khmer or Chinese. I think they're okayish against Britain Slavs. Saracens, I have no idea.
okay.
I think this is the time where I'd go for my Cuman strategy if I have something prepared.
Okay. So you would go Cumans here.
If I have something prepared, yeah. I personally have no idea how to play Cumans, but I have more trust in the less knowledge how to play them than in myself.
Okay. That's funny to me because over the years, you and I, for the most part, we agree with each other, but there's been a few things we don't see eye to eye on as far as strategy goes. But you and I are the exact same with Cumans. I don't know how to play Cumans because I always die when I try it, but I can't play against Cumans because I always die to them. It's so weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. And then, yeah, I did say it the other day. Then I jumped onto Hera's stream and felt like, okay, now I know how to play humans. And he just loses 3 games in a row with
Yeah.
and against them.
Yeah, so that didn't help. All right, well, we'll look to Vivi's stream maybe to find some answers there. Well, guys, game 2 between Velez and DauT. I think I need to speed up a little bit. Yep, Velez in the blue is playing as Malians, and DauT is playing as the Khmer. I mean, it is the quarterfinals, Nilly, so it makes sense that we're going to be seeing some repeats, but every single time I watch Velez, it's like I'm seeing a repeat of a Civ matchup that Max played.
Well, it makes sense, right? Preparation is there. And if 2 people are so connected and sharing every single thought they have,
Yeah.
then you will see the same, right? We saw it in Hidden Cup, and that's why you also always thought, okay, this is Velez the max, or this is DauT Shadow, because those 2 are always doing the same.
Sure. Yeah. And it's great because we can compare these strategies to previous games. So viewers can think, okay, this worked and this didn't. What will this player do with his situation? We actually see a bit of laming here from Velez. Normally, I go at this with game 1, Nilly, so I'll just say it real quick. Again, thanks to Memb and Crasini for all the work they put in with King of the Desert 3. This is one of 4 quarterfinals today, and for everyone on YouTube, of course, it'll come at different days, I'm sure. And then thanks to Microsoft and Pinstack, this has been a great event so far.
Semifinals and finals next weekend as well, so don't want to miss those either. Lovely stuff, obviously, from the whole crew, and well, very enjoyable for so many viewers. Feedback has been really good for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, the structure's been really clean. I think that's something that all tournament organizers have realized over the past couple of years, is just making the structure clean for the players, make it simple for viewers and their results. There's already thousands of people watching at the moment. Malians versus Khmer. So what's the big difference in your eyes in this Civ matchup? You actually played this against Dogal in a rated game not too long ago.
I played against
I casted
I was
it.
Khmer then, or what?
Yeah, you were Khmer in that game.
And then I assume I lost. I don't even remember.
Nilly's like,
Yeah.
I remember the wins. I forget the losses, so.
Yeah, it should be like Khmer can go crazy, right? Yesterday we saw Lyri going for the Drush. You can open for archers. Scout is kind of the standard play. Man-at-Arms, the only play that is something we very rarely see, while we see some Scout shenanigans here.
Yeah, DauT saw the barracks and tried to snipe the weak villagers there, or the unloomed villagers. Yeah, normally what I talk about is the overall flexibility of Malians. All their wood buildings are cheaper. They have camels, they have knights, they have good infantry, they have monks. Whereas Khmer, it's more so about their farms and their knights, I feel like, in 1v1s. But I am thinking back now to how the Max played when he played against Khmer Dogal, and I think it was the first time they met in the group stage. Max really loved Drush FC with Malians. This looks more like a man-at-arm build, though, now that I see looms coming in, but for a second there, because the barrack was pretty early, I thought maybe we'd be seeing some type of a Drush FC for Villese.
It is interesting. I just saw DauT did just practice against Malians, against Tato in our morning session.
Really? Okay.
So, and I think I can spoiler that he actually lost to Tato's Malians there.
Interesting.
But, yeah. So, will be interesting if he can properly adjust. Tato did play quite nicely there in the end. Champs just dominating whatever DauT was putting on the map. And I'm curious how DauT will adjust, and look at that. That will be an Archer opening. 3 on gold by him, so mind games are on.
Archer opening, he saw the barracks, so he expects infantry. Villese is creating infantry, but it's also going to be Malian man-at-arms. Like, they do get +1 Pierce armor starting in Feudal, and then that extends to other ages.
Well, it's just, in my opinion, that is one of the most overrated bonuses.
Okay, fair.
Because the moment you get an archer out, on this level, a man-at-arm will never get to an archer.
Yeah.
And will never get the kill. It just takes longer for the archer to kill.
No, I agree. And the only thing then is you have units that won't ever kill anything, but can be annoying. But if players are able to use one archer, regardless of how annoying that is, yeah, it might not go anywhere. I know it's not common, but if this was a player like Vivi, and Vivi scouted that villagers were on gold, I think Vivi would come forward and tower there. I think he would tower right outside the gold, because it's going to take forever for DauT to make the archers, and DauT would have no real defense to a forward. And here comes Villese. Or villager forward from Villese. This is not common from him.
Ooh, wants to pressure the gold there. That is indeed maybe taking DauT by surprise. The scout is there. Does he see it? He is not reacting. Sees the wolf, and now he knows.
Okay. So, just to bring up why man-at-arms into archers is a bit more common as a whole in our meta nowadays, it's because you have some military while you transition. DauT does not have military at the moment. He's got to wait for the range, and he's got to wait for the archers, and then maybe wait for upgrades. But Villese is going for a forward archer range.
Ooh, and the palisade wall, I saw it coming, was so low. Oh, goddy, DauT. Maybe some more hits would have been nice there. Villagers fighting a bit back, and DauT will be stuck with that gold that he has in the bank. But 215, actually not too bad.
Yeah, that's true. Because you'll make what, like 2 or 3 archers max, and then you'll make skirmishers if you're expecting archers from Villese. But yeah, Villese might not even build a tower on the gold now. He might just go right to that wood line.
DauT, you can see he's already scared. Beautiful use of his scout.
It could snipe a skirmisher, but a whole lot more won't happen here. Fletching in for DauT. Berries are on the other side. Wood line's pretty good for now, but he's in a lot of straggler trees, and yeah, he'll make another lumber camp nearly. When's the last time you saw Villese go forward in a tournament?
I don't know. I can't remember seeing a game. He's such a meta standard sitting at home player.
Yep.
I love that he's mixing it up.
Yeah, I like it as well, and I think it wasn't part of the plan. I think it was him adapting to the situation. Understanding what DauT was going for, and no kills yet in this game, Nilly, but a lot has happened.
Yeah, actually true. A lot of mind games, tech switches, map awareness, trying to set yourself up for the long game. DauT now with the defensive tower. Can he... Well, did get 2 volleys off, so repair will be a bit more tricky there for Villese. And DauT not doing the greatest job there with his lumber camps. I absolutely hate how he designed his woodline there. Without a gate, especially with Khmer, you can jump into houses there. Looks so ugly.
You know what else I think is ugly, and we'll see if it even matters in this game, as both players have fletching now and are fighting. I hate forward archer ranges. I understand it. I understand. Like, here he wanted military, he wanted ranged units out fast, and I get that. But if it doesn't work out, Nilly, he's going to have no defense at home if he's not walled. But it might not be an issue. He snipes an archer, and he's still got some ranged units behind, and these are Malian man-at-arms paying off just a little bit more than we expected.
Oh yeah, and look at that. They are finding quite some kills. DauT now lost his whole army. Only 3 military for him. That's only skirmishes for now. At least won the tower war, but I wouldn't be surprised if Villese is trying to build another one a bit further to the right-hand side.
There's a massive eco difference, though, with one category, and that's food. DauT's got 12 on food, and his berries are about to run out, but, you know, Khmer farms in messy games do so well for you. And that's going to be a big concern if players are leading up towards Castle Age, which is the norm. Also, Villese with an idol on the house on the left. Villese with an idol on the house to the right. So he's trying to do a lot right now. And he's even if he doesn't want to full wall at this time, he has 2 idols simply due to how much he's trying to juggle at the moment.
It's not easy juggling all that, obviously. Now the micro at the front, miss juggling there as well. Some losses. DauT on point with the skirm micro.
Yeah, very good. And also adding the stable. Not really hiding the fact he's going for the stable either. I think that's going to be something Villese will spot as he added one at home himself. Villese needs to take care of that scout, but DauT's just not allowing it. That scout's done so much.
It's absolutely right, and that you mentioned as well. I think that is actually the hero unit of the game. Now, while he sadly dies, now that we start singing tales about him. But he did get so much scouting intel. He saw the forward, saw the tower, saw exactly what was happening, had such a good idea where the army was at all times.
All right. Is that finally a Vil kill for Villese? As DauT does not micro. That's sloppy from DauT because he probably should have hopped inside a house. And maybe it was sloppy because he had an issue?
That is weird,
paused?
Right? The house was so close there as well. Didn't really go for the men-at-arms.
Like, maybe he tried to garrison, and his garrison hotkey didn't work, and he's like, what? I don't know. But yeah, I guess a sloppier than DauT has been so far this game, but I still prefer his position because of that food count. This is insane. He has 300 food and climbing. He can make scouts with that. He can do so much. Villese finds himself with a forward archer range that is useless now and is trying to desperately wall up at home.
Oh, DauT is now expanding towards the top there, going onto gold, builds an outpost, kind of in no man's land, just to see maybe some aggression. Counter-attack here against Villese, overchop in 40 wood, still not completely walled, but I don't see it doing too much.
Yeah, however, how many archers are in here? Only 2. I guess with ranged units and scouts, you could force a reaction from Villese. But what DauT does not see yet, let's see if he can have another hero scout. Look, he sees the stable. Yeah, so he'll know, all right, I've got to be a little bit careful here with only 2 archers in my group. If Villese has 3 or 4 scouts, he'll push me back.
DauT has 2, 3 scouts
Three now.
at the front as well. Goes for the house. That feels like a weird thing to focus on.
You know what's so apparent to me when I watch DauT play? It's how he controls games. Like, he is not... Obviously, breaking in would be great, but he's just trying to force a reaction from Villese. He's delaying the wood line. He sees what Villese is up to. He's just waiting, and now he feels like he's in full control. It's just so interesting how obvious that is when I watch DauT, whereas with other players, it might be about other aspects of their game.
What surprises me is the balls that he is showing over and over again. He is so open at home.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the craziest input. Does have only 1 defensive tower. Stone is open, wood is open, farms are open, and he's thinking about casting.
Yeah, and I feel like this might come back to how much control he feels he has. Like, he doesn't need walls because of his understanding on the game. And like, as he's on his way to Castle Age, We quickly went from, wow, Villese is in a nice position. He's denying resources. He's being aggressive to, what does Villese do now, Nilly? Crazy.
The crazy thing is, DauT is getting the tower up at his gold. He just needs one other defensive tower at one of his wood lines. And then those scouts shouldn't be able to do too much. Villese is going for a massive investment. Look at that. Bloodlines and scale barding armor.
Okay. So Villese investing more. I also had less food income for a while. So Villese's opportunity would be all in feudal. If he sees that DauT is up, after clearing up this army, which should happen soon. I'm surprised he's waiting so much. Then he'll probably need to add spearmen and scouts and archers and everything he can in feudal age to stop DauT, who will probably make scorpions and knights. And Villese, you've got to engage. There it is.
Now feels like house is going down, jumps out there, and that shouldn't be a fair fight. I think Villese should clap this one.
Yeah, I should easily clear that. But I think DauT will be happy with how long it took Villese to decide to take that fight. And it wasn't quite as convincing as I thought it would be either.
DauT had forging, was very tightly positioned. The scouts couldn't find the craziest engagement. Yeah, that is actually quite an even trade-off. Not what Villese needed.
No, oh my goodness. Like, more investment into scouts and upgrades, and Villese only survives with 2 scouts, one of which is on 13 HP. Yeah, I guess it was wise that he waited then, because it could have been worse without scale barding, but holy cow, he's not going to be happy to see that DauT's in Castle Age.
Yeah, difference of Castle Age will be like 3 minutes or something. DauT now sends another scout forward. And already has some solid upgrades on those. Will now take the fight, and yeah, we'll punish the low HP scout.
So, how worried should DauT be about the towers? Because if the game goes on, and Villese is just going to wait for the resources to go castle. But if the game goes on, like these towers are denying golds currently. Do you think he's real concerned there, or do you think that is not an issue for him at all?
If they were completely walled, he should be concerned. But for some reason, Villese has an opening to his tower there, and the knight's now happily shopping away.
I think he had to save the Vils because they were building the tower on the right, and he had to.
You can't open a diagonal wall. Then the villager can jump in, but the knight has such a tougher time to attack.
Yeah, I was gonna say you couldn't garrison if it was fully walled, but that's a smart play. Smart play from you if you were playing, anyways. Yeah, Villese is immediately on the back foot. Another game where it was pretty competitive, but DauT looking really clean here, and he's adding a second TC. So not only with the Khmer farms, but also with the extra villagers soon, and he has the knights. Huge lead for DauT.
Yeah, and what? How did that CA get in?
Where? What?
What?
DE!
It's fully walled!
It's in the middle of a house foundation, Nilly. He just wanted a home.
And he can't move the CA. I think he clicked it twice or 3 times already.
No wonder you never see cav archers from Huns nowadays. They have no houses to hop into. What is this? that helped DauT to break through, possibly, but now it hurts him if he wants the CA, but I think he'll be happy with this. Oh my god. That's ridiculous. Thanks, DE. And
but the knight's in at the other side as well, Tristan.
That's got to be game over, Nilly. I mean, I was feeling like it was game over before DauT got in, but now this is insane.
Military count 14-0, 39 villagers, 20 of them idle. DauT is just going for the kill of every single one of them under the TC.
Yeah, and of course 3 TC eco soon, I would imagine, but I only see 2. Villagers going down. Villese, I feel bad for him because of that bug, but I'm not sure how much it would have mattered here, Nilly. He's going to have, if he wants to continue to play here, which he's doing, he'll need to get quite a few camels out. And he'll need to clear up these knights and then have a huge counterattack.
But how can you fuel that counterattack? You don't have a single villager on gold. You now have some farmers as well, but he will be 20 villagers behind with an even army. That's not a thing. That's not a recipe for comeback.
Yeah, I don't have any answers to you. I'm just saying he needs a counterattack, but I don't know how he's gonna do it. It's just what he needs. Yeah, okay, he re-walls it, but pays the price and loses a Vil, and DauT. He's like, chase me, as I'll send in more units, and I'll continue to boom. This is very well played.
Villese can't even kill that CA now, right? Unless he deletes that house, because he can never get to that CA.
Delete it, DauT. Come on, delete it. Delete the cav archer.
He gets a kill there. Oh, God.
I feel like I mean, it doesn't really matter again. But I feel like if that were to ever happen, I would delete my bugged unit. But then again, it's a massive tournament, so take advantage of what you can get, I suppose. Fortunately, it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's 32 vills for Villese and 56 for DauT. Villese just doesn't want to give it up.
Leisure's doing a good job of holding, but it literally is only holding.
Yeah.
There's no way of him ever pushing on the other side of the map. Now goes onto a monastery, still without any villagers on gold, really. And DauT happily booming behind this one. He's in full control.
Khmer farms are just disgusting. I'm watching the food count as I'm casting here. No wheelbarrow. A food count just climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. I doubt we'll maybe need to heal up a bit with his monks. Get a few conversions, but he has to maintain that eco lead, which is nearing double, and probably will get to double of what Villese has.
That's so ugly. Let's take a look. Camel's trying to find something. DauT, how on point is he? Oh, doesn't even care. TC just will be built. Knights are being pulled away. And Villese, well, this is kind of the moment where you said he needed to make something happen. The counterattack should have come in, but can't find any damage.
Yeah, just not possible. I mean, we're getting to the point where DauT will have enough knights to take out the camels there. So I think we're at that point officially with all the numbers. So it's unfortunate for Villese as he's... Oh my god, look at the camel on the house. He had to delete the house to take out the cav archer.
Ah, okay.
And the camel's now on 4 HP.
Oh, goddy. What is the next step here for Villese? Like, is he trying to play this 1 TC?
Yeah, 1 TC, give it your best shot. All in camel. I would normally say camel pike or something, but he can't even afford to get the pikeman upgrade and make camels at the same time. So, can we talk about how Villese has stables and monasteries where there should be farms? That I don't understand.
Do you really want to discuss farm placement?
Okay, fair enough. I opened myself up to that joke, but it's a bit suspect how he's placed 2 buildings where farms should be. Not as bad as Nikov building a mill directly next to or on his town center yesterday. That was funny, but I think there's a lot going on, safe to say, Nilly. I can't focus on the specifics.
Well, he kind of had to rush those out. Wanted to have them not too far in the back, but also not scouted at the front. Monastery, obviously, a really weird timing there. And DauT is now at 4 TCs. 35 villager lead. He doesn't need to take any fights, right? He knows, okay, I'll just need to sit back and there's no way of you winning.
Yep, exactly. And he's even going for the safe approach of adding barracks so we can go for some pikes just in case the camels were to be too much. But camels are a pretty poor raiding unit, so at least it's half camel, half knight now. I'm just... Neely, we should talk about the next game at this point because this game feels very over. This would be the throw of all throws if DauT were to lose this.
Yeah, that is sometimes the funny situation at the caster, right? We kind of don't want to lie to our viewers and kind of want to say, okay, what are the next steps to come back? Obviously, for us, we get the intel, we see everything, we know how bad it looks for Villese.
Sure.
He thinks, okay, maybe DauT 1k score lead, maybe explored 50% more of the map, maybe has some floating resource or something. It is just very easy for us to see Villese is still fighting in the biggest tournament spot he ever had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a player who's been around, but to make it this far, I think is it might be the biggest tournament spot he's ever had, right?
Yeah,
that and NAC, which was like kind of group stage and whatnot, but
yeah,
I see some raids from both players. 90 vills against 48 right now. DauT's monks are actually going home, right? Yep, his 4 monks are going home to clear up that and send the pikemen that way. I can't say that DauT has done the best job of closing this out, but I also don't feel like these raids really matter all that much.
yeah. Villager advantage now down to only 35 again, after he was already had at 45. Well, DauT isn't playing well at the moment, but it can't matter. Like, he
Yeah.
actively needs to leave his PC to not win this game.
I feel like that's a very DauT thing, though. Like, what DauT does well is not necessarily, how do I phrase this?
Without insulting
DauT
him.
isn't, think back to how Leary played against Nikov yesterday. It was, like, brutal. Non-stop pressure, just suffocating. DauT's not really like that. DauT's like, oh, I see that. I'm going to take control of that area or that position, and DauT slowly gets ahead in games. And so he's officially ahead now. And so he's like, all right, I'm just going to take my time, and he might not be as quick to close out the game as some of the faster players. But he certainly got ahead because of how well he adapted to the forward nilly. When I saw DauT was leaving his gold, when he was trying to go archers, and Villese was coming forward, I felt like Villese could do something there. But pretty soon after that, DauT was in full control. What do you think? Like, was it a mistake from Villese, or was it just great play from DauT to get a lead in mid-feudal?
I think forwards are not really a strong strategy.
Yeah.
And Villese, I said I like that he came out of his comfort zone there, but the follow-up wasn't that strong. And DauT, he mined so much gold, quote-unquote unnecessarily, that he wasn't in such a bad spot. Could defend his woodlines quite nicely, and DauT just stayed at home, smooth economy, smooth transition to Castle Age. He didn't mind this game at a single point.
Yeah, and I think, so the thing about a forward is you have to commit to it. You can't just go 70% like you can do if you're going scouts. Like, make a few scouts and then wall. You have decisions to make there. And Villese, if he wanted to do more damage, I think he needed a few more towers before the archers and ranged units came out. He didn't go to stone at home. Now, there's arguments to be made against doing that, right? Because going forward already damages your economy. So then sending 3 villagers or 4 villagers to stone at home sets your food, wood, gold eco back even more. But there was that moment where he placed the first tower, DauT counter-towered, and then the next tower that Villese built was like 5 minutes later after he had to mine DauT stone. So I think if you're going forward, you have to commit to it, and he definitely did not do that. And DauT's eco was way better and won the game.
He thought about it. He actually had the waypoint of his TC on stone and had a villager starting on stone there, but then pulled them away after he sent the forward villagers on his own stone. So he flirted with that idea, but yeah, it just felt like, someone like Vivi, as I said, he never goes 70% forward.
So, okay, if you're an eco player like Villese, a player who rarely goes forward, and you go forward, do you think you feel so bad sending more villagers away from crucial resources? Like, do you think that deep down inside he felt horrible sending 4 villagers to stone at home because he knew his eco would be worse? Does that make sense? Do you think that I'm thinking about it too much? Maybe I am, but I don't know.
What again?
Like, okay, so he's an eco player, and we just said that if forwards are going to work, you have to fully commit. But as an eco player, he might have felt wrong about doing even more things to make his eco worse, right? Because forwarding is already bad for your eco, forward range, all that bad for your eco. So do you think maybe he didn't send villagers to stone at home because he wanted his eco to be stronger there?
I think that was the idea. I also think that he felt Man-at-Arms Skirm will do more damage.
Yeah.
Maybe, did he even scout the top woodline there? Because it felt like he was so focused on the gold and the bottom woodline.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, maybe scouting was an issue. I would have loved to just seen, like, the forward range bothered me. But then again, you could argue he'd have no military momentum. Like, what's to stop him from maybe denying the gold with the tower, going man-at-arms, building a few more towers, and then DauT's probably on skirms, and then going into scouts later. I don't know. But yeah, Nilly, we should have talked about this over the last 10 minutes of that game. Because we had the time. GG, though. DauT's looking very good. Remember, everyone, that DauT's teammate and practice partner, a guy who has normally gotten the better of DauT, Tato, lost to Villese 3-0 yesterday. So Villese is a very good player and is in very good shape. DauT just seems to be in better shape right now.
And we are going into the next game. It will be DauT's pick number 1. against, well, a civilization that could be wild, Celts.
Celts. Okay. Speaking of Tato versus Villese, the final game in the Tato versus Villese series yesterday, we cast it together, and Tato was playing as the Chinese, and Villese was playing as the Celts, and Villese destroyed him. So we'll see if DauT maybe learns any lessons there. But I'm looking at the map. The map's pretty reasonable for DauT, except for all 3 gold spots being in one location. And you could also say pretty reasonable for Villese, though I don't like the wood line and the elevation on the front. I feel like that could be really awkward.
Yeah, that is true. I think the main mistake yesterday of Tato was simply scouting. DauT, a guy that is so good of finding out what his opponent is doing. So I think this game will play out completely differently.
Well, Tato didn't scout, like, it's so unlike him. He didn't scout Villese's base or even a wall until 9 minutes, 30 seconds. So yeah, DauT will hopefully be better than that. I mean, I don't know. No offense to Tato. I love Tato to death, but I don't know how DauT could be worse here. That was definitely a bad start. And DauT maybe even thinking about laming Nili. Are you surprised to see someone playing as Chinese sending their scout forward to lame when normally they stay at home longer?
Well, he still has 2 sheep that he will find now with the villager, so he is fine. So it actually isn't laming. He found everything. He knows about everything except one of his golds. And villager could be a rest here, but won't.
DauT loses out on 2 goats. Villese will take them back. I personally am surprised. More often than not, like Chinese, you want to have a clean Dark Age. So you don't want to lose out on any resources. So the fact that DauT left before having all of his resources underneath his TC is a surprise to me. The one civ that really struggles when lamed is Chinese. I think it's up there, but maybe DauT will try and steal the elephants.
I don't really think so.
Wouldn't be wise move.
It's too little intel where your opponent's scout is, and in general, not really the DauT thing. He loves to have the full HP scout, get all the intel there, and that's what he absolutely needs, right? This full HP scout is just so much better in defending potential drush as well.
Well, he sees his goats. He got a glimpse of them at least.
Waving at them.
But this is going to be an interesting thing to watch now because DauT really wants to know if a barracks is going to come up. Villese is going to hide it, so it's very close to his TC. And then also DauT is down food with Chinese. And even with all the goats, you tend to see players push in 1 or 2 zebras or ostriches. He's not doing that, and he's keeping his scout forward. So he's going to be weaker at home economically, which he believes might lead to, I guess, more strength if he knows what's coming.
And DauT, he knows what's coming. He doesn't need to see the barracks. He saw, okay, 10 gold collected at the gold, and that always means 3 militia drush from Villese.
Yep. Yeah, and that's one thing that, like, nowadays I think you're seeing the barracks more frequently than just checking the gold, but with that sneaky barrack position, DauT checked the gold tile, I'm sure. That's been a thing for years.
What do you think for Villese? If you want to be that sneaky with that barracks and build it at arguably a horrible spot for long game, why aren't you going for the top gold and try to sneak the 10 gold away from that one?
Well, I think the argument would be if your villager gets spotted, it would die. But yeah, you could be sneakier. But Nili, do you want to be sneaky when you're Celts? I mean, everyone knows it's coming. It's just a matter of when.
Well, but why are you building the barracks then, if everyone knows? Like, why are you building it
there? Very fair. Yeah, maybe Villese is having trouble with commitment today. He needs to commit to the sneakiness here.
Okay. Well, let's see. DauT now, after scouting the strategy, is sending his scout home to push some zebra and ostrich. I'm a bit surprised he sends a villager on gold. Is this going to be a defensive drush into FC?
It is.
What is the strategy?
It's got to be. Yep, it's got to be. And Nili, I don't like that for DauT's position. I think it's going to be awkward for him. Celts can always dictate when they take the fights.
Uh-oh, and DauT not walling. I even taught him.
You taught him? Come on, don't diss yourself like
that. I didn't tell him that.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
If
Oh,
you're
God.
interested in Nilly's lessons, it'll be a whole lot better. Oh man, so he loses a Vil. We'll lose a militia. There's still 3 here for Villese. Yeah, this is an amazing drush for Villese. You don't set out to kill villagers with the militia normally. It's just to buy time. Now DauT's invested into defense, and he's lost a villager.
This hurts me so much. Like, earlier today, DauT said, oh, I'm scared of militia and men-at-arms from Celts. And I said, okay, if you build your mill, just build it 1 tile away, and it's so much easier for you to wall. And he's like, Nilly, that's actually a great tip. And then he's doing this and loses the villager and the militia.
So he insults you by saying, Nilly, you actually had a good thought for once, and then doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Rip. Typical DauT, man. Well, I guess DauT is going to make a few more militia and try and take this into Feudal Age. Maybe he was so scared of the militia that he spent too much time trying to get forward. I still think back to losing the goats in the first place and not pushing a single ostrich or zebra. Like, I think a lot of other players would wall with Chinese real early since you have Loom. But, Villese he's going to add more. Or just, 2 more militia. Bit Huang-like here.
Duang, DauT, God, Duang.
Duang? If Huang and
DauT sees it, though.
If Huang and DauT had a baby, it'd be Duang.
What would he do? Like, building siege workshops forward that get denied?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they'd probably be denied siege workshops, but then somehow still win the game because it's Huang.
Yeah, it's Duang, yeah.
This is
Okay,
what's
DauT-
so beautiful about having Celt Militia. You can just run away anytime you need to. DauT's got villagers in the fight, but he is going for... Never mind, he's not going for men-at-arms.
Archer range now defensively. Men-at-arm, I think, should be coming for DauT. He has now 100 food. Queues up another villager. Maybe feels like he can deal with that this way.
Why make so many militia and not get the men-at-arms upgrade here? Maybe maybe he knows Villese will run away, and there's the fight. In the end, he's going to push this attack away, so maybe it was the wiser move, Nilly. But he's going to make archers. We're talking about Huang. That Celt build that Huang goes for, and maybe Villese will go for here. Knights and siege is so good against low numbers of archers.
Thing is, at men-at-arm upgrade, you're winning the fight a bit better, but as you mentioned, you can't dictate if you fight at all.
Yep.
Celt player can just run away. And what's the difference? You're either surviving with, like, let's say 2 militia or 3 men-at-arms.
Yeah.
And you're only attacking walls anyways.
Well, I think the question is, why make so many then? he made so many, so he probably wanted his eco upgrades instead, and here he goes, man-at-arms upgrade, and we'll attack walls. Villese didn't even have Loom, and Villese is going for an archer range, so if you're a big Huang fan and you know about that build, we're not going to see that here. This might just be a extended drush into a bit of a fast castle, and Villese sniped the Vil at DauT's base.
Oh, that should not have happened. Archer now defending even against Celt Militia quite nicely. But DauT, well, that will be a very late castage timing. But already has a village, an Archer at the front. That's lovely. He will put a lot of pressure there.
See if Villese can get some... I think he should go stone walls here, or can he repair that?
He goes for the repair, not liking that too much. Fletching will do something. We'll try to rebuild houses behind it.
All right. Houses behind it will do the job. But more archers could arrive. Villese will have his own. And Villese is on the way to Castle Age. So, drush into Fast Castle, into crossbows is what Villese wants to go for. Has his golds. The only spot of his eco that's really damaged right now would be wood. But even then, Nilly, he's got another wood line. It's not the worst.
Yeah. His map is pretty solid with how he designed it for himself. Trying to break that house here is DauT. Not all men-at-arms on the same house, though. Another round of villagers trying to repair. Archer pressure is quite nice here.
Yeah, I feel like this is anxiety-inducing for a lot of people, myself included. But Villese seems to be pretty comfortable walling this out. The only concern now is if DauT forces him to take a fight with those archers before he gets Castle Age upgrades. He's actually going to have 2 range production. I mean, even DauT's only on 1. And did DauT add a stable? What?
I think he wants to find the forward villager. He's so scared.
He does. Oh my god, and there's no forward coming. Huang
Arms
deserves,
again.
and if there could be assists here, Huang deserves an assist.
Yeah, for that stable force.
Yeah, like DauT. I thought maybe he was doing it because of skirms, but Nilly, you called it. I think he's expecting a forward Vil, and he's not gonna find it.
Let's see how the scout moves. Actually, the scout goes forward.
Yeah, maybe not. I saw the gather point. That was so much pressure and so much eco behind this, has to be said. He's at 17 on food, 400 food, 400 gold. Odd Canero on the way for Villese now, and Villese will have crossbow soon, but DauT does have a lot of military.
And DauT is moving back here. That's a bit surprising to me. I think you want to stay as long as possible at the front. Probably, oh, he didn't want to get trapped. Obviously, that could have been an easy wall behind, and then the crossbows find all the kills. So DauT saving his army. Actually, pretty clever.
A lot of aggression for DauT. He's hoping the aggression can buy time, but there's no reason for Villese to chase this army now. That's what DauT would want, as you said, Nilly. And here come these crossbows. A bodkin and crossbow in. DauT's got to buy time, and he has no walls, so he's going for defensive tower. Well, I was going to say towers. He's got one defensive tower on the golds. There's definitely going to be areas for Villese to hit.
Kicks up the castle edge now, Mr. DauT. Military slight advantage. Villager count actually not too crazy, but obviously wheelbarrow for him. Nothing there.
Oh my
for
god.
Villese.
Sorry I freaked out there, Nilly. I thought that Villese was going to lose everything at home and let DauT break through. Let's see.
Not Villese.
He should be fine.
Looks solid indeed. How much can he do with the crossbow? Finds 1 kill, finds 2 kills.
Well,
Solid for him.
should lead to a pretty significant Vil lead for Villese, right? Because he's 2 Vils ahead right now, and DauT is halfway to Castle Age, and his TC cannot create more villagers.
We need some walls from DauT here. This will be crucial.
Yeah, this is nasty. Either way you look at it, it's nasty. DauT. Whoa. Okay, I thought it'd be worse for him. But yeah, these crossbows are through. DauT's at 32 villagers with 13 idle. And he has to leave both woodlines now.
Villese looking sharp with Celts again. And, well, he's not Huang, but he's surely hungry to kill some more villagers.
I mean, Villese, he played, if you link back to game 1, he played a really solid game. Game 2 might not have been his game. But I think that he always had a win in him in this series. And this might be it here. It'd have to be an incredible comeback for DauT. And this will be the first time today that DauT has been like, truly behind, in need of a response.
Okay, his response will be getting the upgrades, Botkin on the way, crossbow on the way as well. Then wants to take the fight, but he's behind in military, heavily behind in villagers, map control not in his favor, more crossbows arriving at his front.
Exactly, and for Villese, you just take as good a fight as you can take. And no need to force the issue here. He'll have a second town center producing Vils at home while he's already almost 10 ahead. Also, DauT has so many weak Vils. There's like 4 or 5 villagers that are 1 volley away from going down. A good micro from Villese here, who will lose this group of crossbows, but now he's got the other group on the other side.
Oh yeah, diving in there one night. Shouldn't really have any upgrades indeed, so can't really contribute too much. DauT kind of surviving, but well, massively behind surely.
Well, he's got to go 1 TC now. He's definitely got to go 1 TC for a bit. And it's a struggle when you're up against Celts who can defend with their siege, and especially Celts on 3 town centers. What do you think about Villese's choice to build the town center so far forward there?
I'm actually thinking you don't have to play 1 TC. It sounds weird, but
It does sound weird.
like this, the distance is long. You don't have any aggressive siege workshop possibilities. He is already walled. It feels like DauT will actually drop TCs here.
Okay. Well, he's going to need to soon, as he's 10 villagers behind, and some eco upgrades. And DauT, with his scout and his knight, will see the crossbows on the hill for Villese and maybe try and avoid that. I think he's probably going to try and sneak a few Vil picks on that right side. And at the very least, Villese would have to react to him now if Villese is choosing not to run forward. Villese with 17 on food, 20 on wood, 10 on gold. Good balance there. And 16 military against DauT's 14, and it's a mix for DauT. But now DauT... It's almost like he knows Villese will be waiting for him over there. He runs away without even seeing it.
Yeah. I think it's just waiting to get ballistics and then try to move in. Maybe try to attack at 2 different angles. And you see the crossbow are now moving out. DauT needs to find a lot of villager kills, but too many TCs and too much army from Villese.
I think Villese... I mean, he could either choose to run forward, or he could come home to defend this. And I think the wise move is to come defend this, because he might need to leave his gold. Oh, wow, I'm surprised to see Villese pulling Vills, so I assume wall this.
Market?
Siege
Okay,
Workshop.
Siege Workshop. Yeah, totally fine. Like, Villese knows. Just buying time is a winning condition for him, yeah.
And he could also hold on to that Siege Workshop. I mean, why not? It's certainly not going to hurt. Not with Celts, and not up against crossbows, and DauT has to run away. The ballistics for 7 crossbows.
7 at the right-hand side, 7 at the left-hand side, while you find some villagers at the farms. So you better stop laughing, Tristan.
One of my favorite... The reason I was laughing is because it was reminded of one of my favorite DauT quotes ever. Was after I heard him get ballistics, he's like, say goodbye, micro. No. I'm sorry. We were playing 256 tech. So he got ballistics 3 times. He said triple ballistics. Oh, say goodbye, micro. Yeah, it's one of my favorite DauT quotes ever. He's doing a decent job here, Nilly, to pressure with these multiple armies, but there's still a big eco problem. I look back, and he is on 1 TC still.
I mean, now going on to stone. I think this is the spot where a market could have helped, maybe buying some. But, yeah, transition will be rough. How many villager kills did he find? 5, 6 here? Surely not enough.
Yeah, I wasn't even counting because it didn't feel significant at all. But what is significant is the fact he's ahead military now. I think Villese, like, he's definitely booming, as he should. But he's got to make sure that he has decent military with that eco. Getting a market now when you have the better eco, that's a sign that maybe things are more imbalanced than he would like. DauT could possibly take some good fights.
Also, the double siege workshop not producing out of either of them.
Yeah.
And DauT is annoying. DauT is giving himself a very good shot in a horrible situation.
Yeah, and do you think he's on stone for a second TC, or do you think DauT's on stone for... I'm sorry. I got to learn to ask these questions earlier. Okay, second TC.
And also remember who the player is.
Yeah,
right?
that was going to be my question. Is it going to be a castle?
Haha, okay. Well, yeah. I think for the castle, you need to send some more villagers. While we see DauT trying to take the fight there against the hill. That's not really a thing, but apparently still trades off quite nicely.
Yeah, not... I think the lack of ballistics for Villese meant that he missed a few volleys there. Yo, DauT? Nilly, if he goes with enough crossbow mangonels and then follows that up with a castle drop, which you know he's going to do, win or lose here, he could actually win this game 31 villagers behind. I'm still waiting.
Yes.
Like, I look at the Vill count,
Stone.
and I feel like it shouldn't happen, but where's Villese's military?
He's having 8 crossbows, 1 scorpion. Not too hot for now. While DauT loses some of his crossbows there at the right-hand side to the TC. Still trying to make this round happen. Mangonel shots need to be really good for DauT now.
Yeah, and against Celts, which is going to be tough. That's a 4th town center now for Villese. He's below 15 military. But have easily made more crossbows at the very least.
Well, how much stone do we have? We have 500 stone. Where does Villese even build this? Oofa.
Big shot.
And ground attack now splits into the ground attack.
DauT, come on, man. Give yourself a chance. Get triple ballistics next time. Oh, and well played from Villese to kill the Mangonel with... Oh, God. Well, I mean, I was really believing there, man. And normally I'm the doubter. I'm like, nah, I can't do it with so little eco. And then that happens.
Score is now looking worse, and well, that Mangonel going down just allows Villese to get the castle up so much more likely. Mangonel shot here, and DauT Okay, gets an okay shot off, but he needs the mangonel count.
Yep. Doesn't have that. Also missing shots with the hill. And is happy to get a 1-for-1, but he really needed to have like 3 or 4 mangonels on this hill, pressuring a TC. As Villese will now make a castle on the right side. And he has the resources to go imp soon. And suddenly I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know if DauT can do much. But I truly thought with his military numbers, if he could micro a bit better, that maybe he could have had a slight chance.
I think so as well. Like keeping 3-4 mangonels live there, but Villese was so active. Obviously, Kelt's doing a great job there. DauT's micro, not the craziest ever, although, well, I eat my words. That was pretty lovely.
Don't jinx it now, Nilly. All right, don't jinx it.
Okay.
DauT figures if I can't get the win here, I'm at least going to get the highlight. Will he go for the forward castle? It would be suicide now because it would just get trebbed down or denied. Some redemption splits for DauT. A lot of players would attack the repair villager there, but DauT says, nope, not needed. And here he comes. Forward castle.
I thought Chinese didn't have redemption.
Wow. You are on another level as far as dad jokes are concerned, Nilly. My hat goes off to you.
Okay. Well, I don't trust that because you don't have a webcam, but I will believe you.
Yeah, okay. I'm wearing a hat. So DauT goes forward castle into what exactly?
Well, he will lose the castle in a trap war. He will try to go for some Chukunu, but the moment the castle falls, I don't really see DauT doing too much more. But honestly, he will probably be up on the way to Imperial Age as well. Will sit at 90 villagers, so I think he will try a bit longer.
Another castle for Villese on the left. It looks weird, but I think he's well aware that he doesn't have a lot of military to secure the flanks. So we'll just castle to protect the gold and stone there. Just as DauT arrives too. It's perfect timing. I think DauT calls the GG when he sees Imp personally, but he might continue to try because he's on his way to Imp himself.
Score won't look too pretty. He might think, okay, I'm seeing you going for a lot of votes. His map is really open, so we'll have a tough time stopping those. Arbalests are an okayish counter to them, though, till the Kel player adds some siege.
Yeah, that, or I think just elite woad. You consider the timing here, like the final armor upgrade's already coming in, and then elite woad might not be too far off for Villese. Plus, we'll have the castle numbers. It's going to be awkward for DauT. First game in a while where we haven't seen many relics collected. Villese did get one, but when the build difference is this huge, that's probably not going to be, it's not going to matter.
Build difference still at 40 here. DauT, well, he's trying to come back. He is sitting at 3 TCs, Villese at 4, as you can see in the overlay. And it was a lot of hoping, but Villese just played it very calm.
Yep.
Didn't allow any big mistakes to happen.
I feel like there's a few players out there who might be watching this, like players we'll see later today. Like Yo, Viper, Leary, Hera, MBL, DauT, who might have been able to punish Villese a little bit more when Villese didn't have the military numbers he needed. But regardless, DauT was already so far behind, and he gave himself a fighting chance where he really shouldn't have had a fighting chance. The castle will go down.
To be fair, like military numbers that he didn't have, it was pretty even most of the time.
And that's true, yeah.
So we felt like, okay, Villese with a better economy should have more military, and we questioned him, okay, he has only the same, which is enough to defend, obviously.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and also, it's not like he's Britons and should have a lot of archers. He's Celts, and normally you're thinking past Castle Age and towards Imp with a lot of eco behind it, and he has arrived to that point. Elite Woad Raider is in. DauT still fighting on. He's got Arbalest and Bracer. I appreciate the fighting spirit that both players have had. Villese in the previous game, and now DauT in this game.
Minus 50 population, though. It's not going to be easy for him. Elite Woad Raider already +2, +4 for him. Castle instantly forts there. 3 traps firing so fast. Rams moving forward as well. 24 Arbalests, not enough.
Yeah. think DauT maybe feeling good because he's got the arbs in the north to kill 9 villagers of the 130 vill count. Oh, big attack round for DauT. I was just hoping maybe he could get the woads. But yeah, everything underneath the castle will go down. And DauT's going to call this.
Yeah, Castle Edge Mangonauts, not the craziest thing against Imperial Age. Boats here, Castle is falling, Arbalists are falling. He still has a hit squad at the top, but I don't think that one will change the game. Just look at the score, DauT, please.
Still not calling it, Nilly. He's going to call it. Does he call it before 43 minutes or not?
Before.
Okay. Ah, I should have made a different bet. Okay, I would have been surprised as well. All right, well, if you've been here the whole day, you saw DauT play extremely well in a close game 1, and then DauT destroy in game 2. Game 3, DauT, he tried to scout early. He apparently told you this morning that he's scared of Celt Militia, and I sensed the fear there. The scouting was good, I guess, but how he reacted to the militia was not so good. And then Villese played it clean and perfect with the fast castle crossbow Nilly. To sum this one up, like, what do you think was going through DauT's mind, and why do you think it was so erratic in Feudal?
He thought 3 militia defense is a good counter to Celt Militia. But just wall. It doesn't hurt to have both. Walled and the militia.
Yeah.
Because if you then screw up, you still have the militia, you can stop some forwards, you show a bit more resistance, don't invite your opponent to be out on the map that easily, so I don't mind that too much. But still, just wall your berries. It's such a small investment.
Yeah, he didn't wall much at all there. I don't know, maybe if he doesn't understand the situation, he just kind of he brain farts a little bit there. But it was huge investment to defend from militia, which is what Villese would want anyways. And the attack seemed decent, but Villese played it as he should. All right, so that mistake will be forgotten, I'm sure. That mistake will be forgotten if DauT wins the series.
Yeah, and not for me. I will talk to him about it. Trust me. Like, in 3 years, you will hear me co-cast with DauT once, and I will be, DauT, do you remember? Walling and berries, not your strength.
Yep. I
And
mean,
he will remember.
that's what you have to do with DauT. I remember DauT was making fun of somebody, and it looked like they took it too seriously. And I was like, hey, if DauT's making fun of you, that means he likes you. So,
Yeah.
And it's the same in reverse. All right, so the game, as I said, will probably be pushed out of DauT's mind for now. He's got to prepare for game number 4. And if he wins game number 4, he'll move on to the semifinals of King of the Desert 3, which would be huge for DauT. He's, 20 years into his Age of Empires career? And we're saying that? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, DauT has been around for quite some time, and it is sick, right? 10 years of that probably being top 2, another 10 year being top 10. He has performed over quite some time, and it is like a joy to still see him compete and potentially making it to the top 4 in a major 1v1 tournament.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that DauT was so, like, if you think of Hidden Cup back in March, he was so upset with himself. I think it was the quarters, and he threw a game against Hera, at least in his eyes, he threw a game, and ended up losing 3-2 to Hera in that quarterfinal. And he did like a review afterwards, and he was like, I prepared, I was playing well, I should have got further in that tournament. And while DauT's like a big memer, he takes it very seriously. Like, he's very competitive, and it would be huge for him to get past here, but it'd also be huge for Villese, who has struggled to even make it to the quarterfinals, even being seen as a top 16 or top 10 player. So he's got a chance here, Villese, to tie it up and then take it to game 5. And man, Nilly, this is going to be a long day of Age of Empires, because this is one of 4 quarterfinals all happening today.
Yeah, and if we look at the lineup, I don't see a 3-0 coming today. Yesterday, it was a relatively short day for best of 5s, but today, I can't rule out an 11-hour session.
Yeah, and I say bring it on. I'm ready. I love long competitive sets.
Yeah, and well, Villese is trying to make it at least one longer game, or one more game after this one as well. Well, Crasini leaves the lobby, so I expect them to launch pretty quickly. Also, DauT in Hidden Cup, that quarterfinal match Hera was so hyped up, right? And was considered like top 2. People felt like, okay, after NAC, now it's redemption for Hera to go into the finals
Yeah.
and win. And that one hurt even more. I think if he just loses to quote unquote only the max by throwing, but having the big upset and then thousands of people getting the reveal, DauT actually beat Hera. That's what he's craving for as well.
Yeah. No, I think that was also what was going into his mind. And, there's no hidden identities here. Everyone's well aware. I think many people expect him to beat Villese, and with the way the brackets are shaping up, go very far. So,
Ooh, interesting civilization here.
does that mean Kumans? That
Does
means,
that mean
yep,
Kumans?
that means Kumans. Just the way you said that, Nilly, made me think that Villese would go for his Kumans. And wow, here we have it. Game 4. Well, Villese has gone for what both you and I consider to be a risky Civ pick. Very map dependent. Tough to play and tough to play against at times. Will Villese go for the second town center in Feudal? We'll see. And then we have DauT in the red playing as the Slavs. Nilly, we've talked about this 3 times in King of the Desert together. How to stop the 2 TCs and where the second TC will be placed. Thoughts on the TC location potential for Villese, and then maybe what DauT might be thinking.
Okay, let's keep that question in mind. Explain first, like, what is Villese doing here? He got an elephant instantly, finishes the sheep,
Oh.
and now goes for the elephant here.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if it was a boar, you'd only have 340 food. It's an elephant, so you get 400 food. I don't know.
Getting it that early, and then letting it rot. It felt a bit weird.
Do you think he got it early because if he's lamed, he can't go for the fast feudal he wants to achieve?
He's already sending 3 on wood. I think it's not the craziest. Now goes for an elephant behind this one as well. Are you really that scared as a human player that you're getting lamed?
Apparently. I mean, that's the only explanation I have to take it quite this early.
Goes with 4 on wood. This might not be a TC play, Tristan. I think he's going for army before.
Yeah, he's at least making the house over there. We'll see, Nilly. Well, that's the other thing we have to bring up. By the way, look at that villager inside the elephant carcass. I don't think I've ever seen that before. You see like this vague outline.
He's coming out bloody.
Jeez, take a bath after that, bud. But whoa, full walls already for Villese and Loom. Okay, so this is something he has planned, and this is something I've not seen yet. Early investment into the walls, and also taking in the elephants before they can be lamed. Wow.
Okay, I changed my read again. It will be an extra TC. Fully walled here quite early on. That's surprising. And the big question, as always, where does he build his TC? And I already know where you will say it.
I was gonna say on the wood line in the stone, in the back.
I think that is a very good spot indeed.
Yeah. So
therefore, he needs to wall a bit further at the front. You don't want to wall directly from the wood line to the stone because that would block your TC spot.
So there's been a lot of conversation over, I almost said the years, but the year, about how to stop this. And I have come to the conclusion that going feudal age pressure is normally quite bad against this, because they're still going to have 2 town centers, and they'll likely eventually get to castle age with more eco and kill you with something like knights. So I think DauT is going to go for Drush. He's making the militia now. He's going to try and kill what he can, and then go fast castle, and then maybe turn this into knights or siege. And Slavs are very good at both those things.
Yeah. Kind of the strat that I'm going for at the moment, and I have no idea if it is the best strategy, but I've seen it multiple times. Drush before mill into fast castle.
Yep.
And that's exactly what you said. You are skipping the time where you aren't doing damage anyways, because feudal age army against human palisade walls, not the easiest thing. And then you can pressure a lot against a guy that doesn't have any real army.
Yeah, so DauT scouted the walls on the left side not too long ago. So he knew, like, this guy's trying to wall up. He has Loom. DauT clearly was aware of what was happening, and he arrives before the walls are complete. This is great for DauT, who has not sniped a villager yet.
7 and 11 HP. Please tell me that you get at least one. 7 and 9. Both of them are getting away. Lovely micro by Villese. Now he does not underpull villagers.
No, he's committing to this, Nilly. And the Lion also, with the assist there, weakens the militia. Yeah, I think these walls are going to get up for Villese, but he does have quite a few villagers off of resources at the moment.
That really helped. That line really helped Villese. And, well, Eco is a bit shady. Scout goes down, but honestly, it's like we are always comparing like DauT versus top micro, but I think if it goes a bit more fortunate there, he finds 2 villager kills.
Yeah, that's true. It happens. But you say that, but I feel like there's certain players who just have a knack at timing it. The amount of times I've seen like Viper and Hera keep weak, and Yo especially, keep weak villagers alive in situations where you and I would lose like 3 is unreal. So give credit to Villese there for timing that. And yeah, I think the fact he's got 2 vills over by the stone tells us he'll probably send more there to place a TC. Yeah, it's still in Dark Age.
Yeah, he will for quite some time, right? Typical mount is like 27 or maybe even 28 villagers, and then he will go up. I've even seen greedy players not wall at all in this spot, simply because you know exactly what Villese is going for. DauT will scout the extra TC and then will slow down a bit and builds the TC differently to what we expected.
And DauT has the scout to see that. So DauT at this point, he's not really under pressure in terms of being attacked. But as he's on 28 villagers, now 29 in Dark Age, wow. He is going to put some pressure on himself to find an area to hit. Do you think it's Night Siege here? Do you think it's an arena style, 2 monasteries, Siege Workshop? Like, what on earth is going through DauT's mind, knowing he has to destroy 2 town center eco?
Especially with that TC at the front. I think a Siege Workshop makes so much sense, right? Yeah. The Siege Workshop next to those 2 camels there on that hill, and then he will have a nice pressure point. By the way, you said 29 villagers, so crazy, and I predicted before 27, 28. DauT actually skipped Loom.
So he'll have a lot of resources.
Indeed, he will be completely walled, can get his stuff up at the front. And look at that, already Feudal Age stuff queued up, 1 villager, Loom, and then he will probably get to Castle Age at a very smooth timing.
Yeah, so this is a pretty clean build for DauT. Unfortunately, he didn't kill villagers, but he did delay things. Also, Nilly, I know you and I are just huge fans of AoE Zone, right? Do you remember months back, there was this player, or this person who posted and said, let's find out the ideal number of villagers to build the second TC with Kumans. And do you remember what number AoE Zone decided was the best after various tests?
No.
I think it was 8.
I didn't read that one.
Yeah,
okay,
I believe it was 8. And many people were testing that. So it was a 5 vill build from Villese. So that TC did not go up quite as fast as it could have. Remember that TC is always goes up a bit slower with Kumans. Otherwise, the strategy would be even more devastating.
8. I think that's what I heard as well.
Most people tend to do that. I didn't have to bring up the thread, but I was surprised to see Villese, when he wasn't pressured at all, only have 5 building that.
Let's think about like 8. Obviously feels good, but the problem is then you have 8 villagers, and since you don't have wood there, you don't have stone there, then you have 8 villagers basically either on gold or farming.
Yeah.
And if you can't build enough farms, you're floating a lot of gold, and you can already see that 310 gold.
Yeah. And it's also a reason why I think players have chosen to build the second TC on stones nowadays. Because, like, stones and wood lines, excuse me. Because then you can still send a lot to wood, put a few on stone for defensive towers or castle later, and then just build a mining camp on the gold. But I would say that maybe Villese might still be thinking of going to stone at some stage. I think in the back of his mind, he realizes that if he doesn't TC that gold, he's not going to have any security for it whatsoever. And that's a perfect spot for DauT to hit. DauT's actually on archers and getting fletching and does have a forward villager. I am surprised to see him going for the archer route, but not surprised to see that forward villager there.
Yeah, Forward Villager, I think shouldn't even build a house there. He really needs to get to the spot. Siege Workshop needs to go down ASAP, and it could be a really nice angle. Double stone there, gold there as well. Now we see the market used by Villese, and he will have a solid timing. Was
Wow.
only missing the second building, and 1848. That's damn smooth.
See, I watched this and I'm just like, how do you beat this? This strategy's stupid. Let's see what DauT can do. Now, he's almost forced to start off with 1 TC eco. He can't boom to catch up. He's got a pressure. And there's the Siege Workshop. And I like the spot, Nilly. But as you said, maybe it could have been a little bit faster. Nothing crazy, though.
The only thing how you can beat it is if you don't go for any army and just boom yourself, like rush into full boom. But what are you really doing then? And then it's like you don't have army, your opponent can go for kipchaks. It's never a pretty spot.
Sure. Yeah, so this is probably into something like knights for Villese as he's placed the stable. He has a decent amount on food. The gold will be pressured. Mangonel already on the way. Slav Siege is cheaper. So for now, DauT feeling good. But everything that DauT has out is countered by like 5 knights. Or less than that, actually.
Yeah. Remember also, Mangonels die quite quickly to step lances as well. If Villese is opting for those, is going for scale barding armor. And DauT, well, he quickly needs to drop monastery here.
Oh, DauT kills 2 Vills with that Mangonel. And Villese does react now. Yeah, he definitely needs a monastery, and Villese will take that 1 tile of gold for now. Interestingly enough, there's only 400 gold on that tile, which is as far away as it gets from that Mangonel.
Also, a reason for maybe to go for step lances. I think knight is the right choice, but it makes it easier while we see another villager go down, because step lance is just so much cheaper when it comes to gold.
Yeah, and Villese cannot take his stone, so he can't even sell stone for gold. Can he get enough knights out here? What upgrades are we looking at, Nilly? He has scale barding, and that's it. No bloodlines. DauT with some good pressure here, you know, and DauT maybe has just done enough damage where he could consider adding a second TC at home. See.
I think, honestly, those knights are clearing this up so easily.
Yeah.
DauT monastery was way too late. If he had like 2 monks here, this is so good for him. But now this one will be lovely for Villese.
And on the other side, he had spread out crossbows. They all went down. I look at the Vill counts, it's 45 to 38, but if DauT doesn't have a second... Oh, and the monastery's denied! Rip. Yeah, if he doesn't have a second TC, which I guess he's now adding, then he's going to be way behind in eco. But Nilly, I mean, even if he gets on that second TC right now, he's behind with no military momentum.
Yeah, and, well, he is going for 3 TC, but what then? Like, is he going for pikemen now? This will be so easy for Villese to pressure, and I'm getting some game 5 chills.
I know, man. And DauT was up 2 games. Remember, there's been a lot of that in this tournament. In the group stage, it was Leary DauT, and DauT lost the first 2 and then came back, beat Leary of all people. Of course, Leary will be playing later today in his quarterfinal. But I guess this is all you can do. It's not ideal. Like, DauT doesn't want to be in this position, but he's going to try and go Pike Monk defense and hope for the best.
Pikeman feels so costly at the moment, right? He has 9 farmers, 3 TCs, so single pikeman means you can't build any more villagers. It's going to be a tricky spot for him. Slav farmers, good, but not that good.
Yeah, so this is why I'm so stumped with Kumans. Because, like, as a Civ, it feels... Oh, God. DauT couldn't quick wall fast enough. And there's Step Lancers and Knights here and Chain Barding now. This is even worse.
Monk count still at 0. Now first one should pop any second. That is some lovely kills. And Villese with the full control gets the Siege Workshop up as well. And probably gets out of there without any losses and without a conversion.
No, well, yeah, no conversion because the Monk's dead. And now he leaves. That was perfect.
Loses 1 Step Lancer, has to be super happy how that went. Goes for more Knights, goes for more Step Lancers. Mangonel now at the front. Let's see, can DauT react instantly?
DauT does have Slavs. One of the fastest farmers in the game. He'll have a few monks, he'll have crossbows. There's a knight on the right side I don't think he's been paying attention to. But now there's a siege workshop from Villese, Nilly, and now we're again saying, what does DauT do against this? He's like 2 steps behind.
Oh, villager count actually quite reasonable. Only 5 behind, since Villese is going that aggressively here. He's playing, quote-unquote, only 2 TC against the 3. But soon it might be 2v2 TC, because how can DauT defend this?
Yeah, I mean, not with the siege workshop on the front. It's not going to help here. And he's also got to consistently react to these knights. These various groups of knights running in. He's at his own stable. I do like that. I just don't know if he'll have the food income to make knights. And, oh, gets a conversion.
Maybe even 2 here. Looks pretty good. Indeed, gets 2. Crossbow round as well. Can he save the monk? And indeed, he does. Other monk, well, will get shredded down. But that was lovely for DauT.
And now, since he converted that knight, the knight will take out 1 Mangonel and could take out 2 if he chooses to run this way. It dealt with a moment to breathe, Nilly, and tying up the Vil count just with the conversion.
That was so good for DauT. How did that one happen? Finds the villager kill and doesn't go for the Mangonel. Obviously, line of sight pretty small by those knights. Sends in another knight to intercept. That's a lovely plays by DauT here.
And normally you see players on 3 TCs this entire time behind this. Villese just now adding his 3 TCs. So, Nilly, we're right back to a pretty close game. DauT did kill 5, 6, maybe 7 villagers from Villese with that early pressure that ended up failing then. And he's been on 3 defending ever since.
Okay, knights are in again, but need to retreat. They can't do too much. A single monk would be so efficient against them. Loses a knight, most likely. No, 7 HP is in there with a raid at the bottom.
Wow, so look at how... Oh, that's a rough one. And that monk shouldn't get a conversion, but it's DauT, so he probably has that... Nope, never mind. I thought maybe the RNG gods would bless the Lord.
He himself, like self-blessing.
Yes, bless himself. Quick wall, DauT.
Quick wall gods didn't bless him either.
Okay, we talked about pikemen not too long ago. With the amount of wood that DauT has, if he seeds that into farms, it's not unrealistic that he could get to something like pike, monk, crossbow. But again, more knights to deal with in the north.
Oh man, what is the production here? It looks like more than 2 stables, but Villese just constantly queuing those up, stays very active. DauT now abandoning the woodline at the front, or at least tries to seed some more farms. Pikeman switch feels like such a necessary choice for DauT.
This game, if we didn't know the players, I would think that Villese was max. Like, everything about this seems so max-like. He's going to 4 TCs now. Very clean play. Or I shouldn't say very clean play, but very boomy play. Lots of economy. Could have been slightly better, I'm sure. Can DauT come back here? Missing some big eco upgrades, Nilly, but does have quite a few crossbows.
Okay, crossbows obviously not the craziest unit here from Slav, especially not in long run. Mangonel might fall, conversions not really happening. And DauT, that's not a fight you can take. Mangonel goes down to 7 HP.
You've got to delete that knight. Oh boy. Well, could get converted right back.
Let's see, just want to suicide it. Oh! Where's MBL?
That was so fast, man.
Oh, Tristan!
DauT, you're not Britons, and you're not Leary.
I'm scared.
But I think DauT's happy to try and get conversions every now and then. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that much on gold. Thinking maybe Redemption might be in his near future, but it's still very expensive just to convert 1 Mangonel. Is he really moving out here?
Well, taking that hill isn't the worst thing, right? You can still go back quite easily. Outpush should go up. Not really sure what she is up to. Nothing's better of it. And we see the pikeman transition, but only 2 barracks for now.
Yeah, only 2 barracks. Villese well aware of what DauT's up to. Villese 4 TCs. He's producing so much out of town centers and stables. He just got pretty badly housed. He's got to stay on that. And I also think he's going to drop a castle soon, Nilly. I see villagers moving forward, and that castle. Are you kidding me, Villese?
Oh god, that one is so aggressive, and that one will mean basically no pikeman production, because that's the spot where he has all his 4 barracks.
That's a get out of my game castle. That's a take us to game 5 castle if it goes up. But he also could throw. There's crossbows out there. But the crossbows he knows are on the other side.
Uh-oh, yeah. DauT, no chance of defending this one. Defensive tower, not an option. He has 70 stone, not a single mangonel out. DauT is coming over. And honestly, if DauT is just sitting behind the walls, he could do something, but decides to go the other way around.
I think he knew the Mangonels would deny him. So he's just going to accept that castle's going up. And man, farm space, barracks, as you said, so much. Crucial space for DauT is going to be denied. DauT is in big trouble here in game number 4 after a great start to the day. It's like, what's going through your mind? Are you thinking maybe ramming down that castle? You can't do that if there's Mangonels around. I just don't know what you do from this position.
Think about what's if you want to go from game 5.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
although DauT is still 2 pop ahead.
It's because he has 40 military that can be countered by the 3 Mangonels that are out there.
Yeah.
I guess maybe if DauT gets a counter in, but he needs to defend constantly. And here comes Villese. Villese has enough knights where he could take out that town center if he wanted to, but the wiser move is Seaville, Killaville, and force a reaction from DauT. And oh man, there's so much exposed for the Lord.
Yeah, he will see a lot of builds, and we won't see a lot of them pretty soon because lots of them are falling here. And pikemen are coming over. What?
DauT Castle at Villese's base? Maybe?
Looks like 80%. DauT is trying to micro it down. Not the craziest move. Villese pulls more villagers.
I can't see. It'll go up. It will go up. And that means that DauT, his risk to run away from his base probably was not worth it. I don't see him breaking in here and doing all that much with that military as Villese is thinking about the Imperial Age.
Yeah,
there he goes.
Just think about it. Like, that castle in DauT's face next to starting TC. Like, it's trapped there, can shoot for ages and still find new buildings to kill.
Yep. Siege Workshop for DauT. I was thinking maybe DauT goes Pike Ram, but you can't go Ram against a castle if there's Mangonels around, unfortunately. Interesting how Villese has the stone to build a castle and he didn't build it in his base, though. Like, he doesn't seem too worried about the crossbow pikeman army, I guess. But that could do some damage. It could be annoying.
Well, how many villagers are exposed there in the back? And where do you really build it? Like, it's not... You can't build a castle
ideal.
that will be good for the long game.
Yeah, exactly. I just felt like, you know, he's had to abandon 5 or 6 farms already. He had to abandon a woodline stone, but it's, again, not the end of the world.
Pikeman push at the front, Tristan. Can he save the Mangonels? Going over there with some villagers. Kipchaks now releasing themselves. Or some of them dying. But that will be all pikemen gone for DauT.
I think DauT he's already making rams. So that was his last desperate attempt to take out the Mangonels so he could pike ram push that castle down. And Villese chooses to build the castle more towards the front. Still protecting woodline, still protecting gold bees. Losing a lot of farmers. But I feel like 1 Mangonel, if it were to be brought back, could deal with what DauT has currently, or maybe 2. DauT's still fighting.
Oh, yeah, he is running around trying to make something happen, and well, Villese doesn't have the easiest unit to transition into killing crossmen, right? You don't get bracer for skirmisher, but the aggression through the center is just so much more than what DauT can offer.
Yep, I agree. And I think it's just a matter of time once this army gets cleaned up. DauT's military count is too low, and of course DauT has already lost 2 town centers to Mangonels. It'll get even worse once the trebuchet comes out. I think we're going towards game 5, as you said, Nilly, despite the population being close, unless DauT's able to do something crazy.
I don't really see how, right? We have 3 rams there in the push that he kind of had in his head to maybe allow himself to get for a comeback, but triple castle set up here with humans. He will get so many Kipchaks, and DauT now diving under another castle. What's happening here?
I don't think he knew it was there, Nilly. Okay, he runs away. Still no Mangonel. This is actually bothering me. Look at all the idle time this has caused. Okay, there it is. But holy cow, even that, like, DauT could use those pikemen against the Mangonel and keep the crossbows alive.
Yeah, it's a weird choice, surely. DauT still, well, in this game. Scale may armor now. He wants to make something happen. Runs into another TC. Mangonel actually arrives at the moment where there's very little army left.
And it's going the wrong way, too.
Oh, big raid at the top here. Instantly gets that monk, and those 4 knights will find quite
And
some
another
points.
castle, too, for Villese at the same time. Two tiny pronged attack, but devastating, as DauT will lose too many lumberjacks to count. Here come the Rams, and here come the pikemen. If DauT has any chance, he has to take out not one, but two castles, because it looks like these castles will go up. And the siege is not there for Villese, so he might actually ram this down.
But honestly, there will be no more melee pretty soon. Villagers can just jump in there, fight the Rams now.
Fair.
There's no pikemen to really protect them.
That's a good point. And even then, if that castle does go down, does he get the next one? Probably not. I just have to say, Villese has not done the best job of closing this game out ever since getting the lead.
It is a messy one. DauT did a really good job of making it wild, going for the big counterattack there. Villagers now dying. The castle will fall eventually, but that was all the army for DauT as well in exchange.
I love how DauT garrisoned his TC to shoot the repair bills.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something you see every day.
The castle will even survive. Kipchak's now dealing with the Rams.
Oh boy. Okay, well then that's definitely the game then. Well calculated, I suppose. Villese would say that's fine. I never had any doubt there. As he's losing vills to the same army of pikemen and crossbows.
Oh god.
It's so frustrating for me.
I know you were frustrated. Now I'm getting frustrated as well. This is like,
just kill
where's
it.
the mangonel even?
Like, just kill it with something, Villese. Come on. I mean, imagine if the game was closer and he lost the game because of that army. I think that's also why he's not dealing with the army, because it's not closer, but holy.
Finally goes for some defense upgrades here for his Kipchaks. Maybe wants to take an engagement then. Still lacking chemistry. Now dives in another attack. And how can DauT use his army? Well, he can't in this game anymore.
The army did a good job, but you said it, Nilly. If you're going to go Mangonel pressure against, especially crossbow Mangonel pressure against two TCs, I think you're going to need that monastery out right away. And maybe he didn't add the monastery after the first Mangonel because he wanted to make the second. He didn't have the resources for it. But it's very, very important you have a few monks when the knights arrive. And DauT couldn't do that in time. The push, which otherwise was pretty strong because it had taken out villagers, was pushed back. And then DauT had no control. And you need that against the Cumans. So the risk paid off. This is a civ that we've seen get stomped and stomp the Cumans. And we will have a Game 5 in the first quarterfinal of King of the Desert 3. How, you know DauT better than most. We mentioned how, all the memes, and we also mentioned how competitive he is. How do you think he's feeling mentally after losing 2 games in a row now?
He couldn't care less.
You don't think so?
No. He is just like, okay, next game.
Okay. Yeah, knowing what I know about DauT, I think that he probably feels less nerves than everyone, if not most.
Yeah.
He's been there, done that over the last 2 decades, so.
Oh boy, and now the big question is, DauT, Game 5, he did pull out a crazy strategy against Leary, playing with Saracens. Still an option for him? Or does he want to play Britons? Because we are expecting Villese to go for Mayans here.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the Civ Draft, which we haven't been able to do in between games too much, and just count back. DauT's used Chinese, he's used Khmer, he's used Lithuanians, he has used Slavs now, so he has Britons, Saracens, and then Villese has gone for Franks, Malians, Celts, Cumans, so he has Mayans, Huns. I think it's pretty clearly got to be Mayans for Villese, because Huns are not all that good against Britons or Saracens. Would you agree?
I think on this map, Huns are
better,
maybe a bit better.
Yeah.
But I still think Mayans is the way stronger civilization.
So,
especially like Huns against Britons, I don't mind it too much.
Which civ is better for DauT against Mayans then?
I don't know. Probably Britons. I like Britons against Mayans quite a bit. In Castle Age, if you go crossbow, you're fine. You can go for full champions. That is fine as well. I personally like Britons, especially like on normal Arabia. On this wild one, maybe it's just DauT going for a Saracen strategy again.
So I think Saracens are better at killing Mayans fast. Britons are better overall. So it really depends on how DauT wants to deal with it. But man, this is going to be an amazing 5th game. I could not be more hyped. Thanks to everyone who's hanging out today and watching all over Twitch and, well, eventually YouTube, I guess. Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe.
Nilly, and I also have to admit, I felt like DauT was just going to destroy Villese after games 1 and 2. And here we are. Like
It felt like it, right?
Yeah. Villese 3-0'd Tato yesterday. And regardless of who wins this final game, I think Villese is gaining a lot more respect in people's eyes.
Yeah, surely. After yesterday, and people were like, oh, what a fluke. Maybe Tato played bad. But back-to-back days, putting crazy performance here. Villese, Hera did talk about it for quite some time now, that he sees Villese in the top 10 in the world at the moment. And I think he will gain a lot of fans in this tournament.
All right. Yeah, Villese is... It was so cool to meet him in Hamburg and just talk with him. He's not a very talkative guy, for those that don't know. He does not say much, but is an incredible player. And also, just like Max, I think, loves his cube mod, right?
He isn't that talkative in English, right? While
maybe
on the
he's
couch with the Max, they were constantly like
Oh,
discussing
Max,
strategies
like,
and,
Max opened up. Max was talking more than I do, and there's not many people who can say that, so that was cool. All right, I'm waiting here. My viewers might be able to hear the little like tab switch as I'm looking for the live game. It's both DauT and Villese in the game room, no admins, and they are about to start.
And indeed, we get our matchup. It will be mains against Britons. Whew, for a lot of marbles here.
Okay, do you know how much prize pool we're talking for losing in the quarters and then advancing to the semis? It's got to be a decent chunk of change at this point.
The change is $2,000. You get 2K for making it
to the quarters
today.
Okay.
And if you get to the semis, 4K. And honestly, this is still the quote-unquote weaker bracket. So you still have a shot to get to the final after that one.
Yeah. All right. Sizable. I guess it's really top-heavy with the prize pool then, because doesn't the winner get 17,000?
Yeah. It's like 34% for one player out of the tournament. That's a lot.
I was expecting, like, no offense to these players, 2,000 is a lot, but I was expecting a little bit more. Well, they both are gonna have the potential to make it to the if they win this, they make it to the semifinals, but of course they could make it even past that with how they've been playing. And Nilly, which civ do you prefer if you had to choose yourself?
As I said, on the very close to Arabia, Britons, I think on KOTD Arabia, Mayans, simply because they're so flexible. You can go for archers, you can go for eagles, and both players heavily relying on gold here.
Speaking of, the civ that cannot make like light cav or hussars, all golds in the same spot of the map. Imagine game 5 and then having all 3 golds next to hills in an open area. This is not a favorable map gen for Villese, I have to say.
Oh, DauT barely missing 2 of his goats there. Unfortunate for him. So that will be -2, which kind of sucks for Britons because you really want to benefit from that bonus. Sends 4 on wood for now, and Villese has to be happy with this opening. Is he lacking sheep of his own? No, he's not.
Okay, so Villese does steal 2 goats, and maybe a stronger Dark Age for him with that. Villese, every single game, has been weakening the elephants or rhino with the town center. He has not made the mistake of actually shooting it with the town center. And Nilly, he's doing the same thing as last game. Is 1 villager on the elephant. He's got 5 finishing the goat, and then he's going to go back to the elephant. It's interesting.
I will need to ask him about that.
Yeah, because I think most other pros would just let the goat rot instead of letting some of the elephant rot away. But this is a map for Villese that it either helps or hurts you. And unfortunately, there have been instances where it can hurt. So all 3 golds in the same spot means they're all secured if he controls the area. What I hate about it, though, is I don't see a single good town center spot. Whereas with DauT's golds, at least that 4-tile gold to the north of his TC is a good TC spot on wood and on the gold. But that area just... I feel bad for Villese. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, those TCs will be more for protection, not really for saving a mining camp as well. And as you can see with his 2 houses there, he's planning with the big walls. I think he will have to build a defensive tower here before reaching Castle Age.
All right, so DauT down those 2 goats, which did make it back to Vilese's base. You can see them chilling out here. Both have archers in their arsenal. As you mentioned, it's way more common for Britons to go with only archers in Feudal because there's that eagle switch available for Mayans. Do you think maybe if archer opening is coming, we will see Drush into archers?
Unless with this late barracks, I think it will just be normal Feudal. I don't think anyone will Drush.
Okay.
I think it will be either men-at-arms or just double archer range.
I would be surprised if DauT tries to go for the militia because he's down the food now. And it would be that much harder to get up to Feudal Age with a fast uptime after the fact. So I'd say it's probably better to go Feudal in DauT's position. Les.
Actually collecting 10 gold now.
All right, and the barracks. So he's about to have only 200 food left underneath the TC after he takes out that elephant. And maybe DauT sees the back gold and the back berries. And he's going to attempt a Drush Fast Castle? Is that what we're seeing here?
I think the map is too open, but look at where the villagers are going. He's trying to make something happen, and I think that will be rough for him.
All right, Villese hasn't clicked up yet, Nilly. Whoa, wait a second. Villese had a bunch of vills queued. Okay, he's sorted that out, and yeah, this
some
is going to
villager
be
dancing here. DauT might lose a villager. Not the greatest micro against that, and ooh, nice pick off here by Villese for sure.
Can he get the vill?
DauT.
Can he get the vill? DauT, you gonna wall it? Wall it, DauT. Wall it.
You need to fast forward, Tristan.
Oh, I see. You said pick off, and I was like, this makes more sense now. He's really trying to make something happen. All right, more walls, and yeah, Drush FC is what it looks like for DauT. On the bright side, and I really like this for him, he does have the zebra and the ostrich within his walls if these walls complete.
Indeed, my chat is already like getting flashbacks to Battle of Africa finals there. Last game, DauT also having some problems, losing lots of villagers early on, and then not really allowing himself into the comeback. And well, walls will be set up a bit better this time.
To be fair, I think it was all of what was then secret. A Viper had some problems as well. Oh boy. But you know what? I think ideal scenario is DauT engages against the militia before they're upgraded. And if he's able to do that, then he will have a whole lot of time here. If he doesn't do that, though, I think Villese will have man-at-arms and take a good fight and then maybe have a strong archer follow-up. I highly doubt we're going to see a forward from Villese. He made that mistake already this series. It's also not his style to do that. And he sees that DauT is walling. He did not scout the barracks.
What were you just saying? You highly doubt that Villese is going for the forward? Well, I see 4 villagers moving over there.
Okay.
And he will play this one very aggressively. And yeah, it didn't work out in one game. But that was against the Flush. This time, it is to punish the Drush FC of DauT.
Yeah, different situation, right? DauT might be able to snipe that eagle. Should snipe that eagle. That's good work for him. And here come the man-at-arms, and here's the tower. Now, problem for DauT is he's not going to be able to wall much behind this because there's going to be a tower, and then he can't counter tower because he's not in Feudal Age yet. So he has to do what he can for now, Nilly.
And also big difference is in the Khmer game, he had a second wood line to the top, if you remember. This game, where is he moving?
Yeah. By the time he gets another layer of palisades, which is a good move for him, he's going to have to relocate. And yeah, there he goes. He moves over there, an area that Villese has scouted. Now, Nilly, we were thinking back, what could Villese have done differently in the other game where he went forward and he didn't commit to that forward? He didn't go to stone at home. He's gone to stone at home this time. Oh, but DauT's in.
Oh, well, but being in and being in are two different things. And, well, chilling a bit, but now he will find probably some damage. Scout's still alive. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that scout could help out. I'm surprised. It's like Villese hasn't reacted yet. Okay, he knows. All right, so he won't get fully walled. Not the biggest deal. Will DauT have the res to go Castle Age, or will he stay in Feudal? That's my question.
I think he has to abandon his pen. What is this tower? This
also,
so
DauT's micro. Scout down, militia down.
Oh, God.
I guess he's worried. Can you not tower hop through there if you're Villese?
I think you should have. I think you should have, yeah.
I think he would be able to do that. But, I mean, in the end, DauT's got a wood line. He even has some stone. He has access to gold. He hasn't lost a villager. And he's done all right here.
Okay, nice houses there. I need to put on my DauT bandana. I'll be right back.
All right, Nili's clearly a biased caster here. Jeez.
Oh god, I didn't think I needed it already in the quarterfinals, but oh, yo.
You should have put your Tato bandana on yesterday. Do you have one of those? Come on, man.
No, I don't. There are no Tato stocks.
Okay. So, Villese has his 4 villagers on this side, and it would be a long journey to go over to the other side. And by the time he gets there, DauT would probably spot any tower and either deny it with archers or make a counter tower. So, in this instance, I think it's a good idea for Villese to just stay forward and take this gold. But DauT, he still hasn't clicked up to Castle Age. So for now, I'd say that the forward has accomplished a lot for Villese.
Well, it also cost him some, but yeah, DauT was clearly interrupted. And, well, I think if Villese walled a bit earlier and the militia didn't get in, everything would have been smooth for him. But, yeah, I think it is relatively even. Castle Age timing will be a bit earlier for DauT, but Villese shouldn't really take too much damage.
Yeah, the period of the game where Britons excel is early Castle Age. So even if DauT's eco's a bit off, if he's able to make it, can he get the Vill? Oh my god, he didn't get the villager there. That's unfortunate. But I feel like even if DauT's able to make it to Castle Age with less eco overall, getting the extra range with Britons can be devastating, and he can do an awful lot with that. We'll click up soon, Nili. And
Defensive
Villese.
tower for Villese, exactly what I wanted to see early on.
move.
And, well, Villese, 400 food. I think he will click up in like 2 villagers, loses some HP on his man-at-arms, won't really lose it. DauT, what is the play here? Is he adding a second archer range? Is he maybe going for stable?
I personally think you stick with the ranged units. Especially if you're expecting the opposition to be walled. He also doesn't have a lot on food. So knights when it might not work out.
He has a lot of villages on gold. Look at that, 15 villages on gold.
Oh my goodness.
For 1 archer range. You need like 4 on gold. With Britons, maybe 4.5.
Okay, if Villese was CL, or one of the, yeah, if he was CL or Tim, what would he be doing right now on top of that tower?
On top of that tower?
Like, not on top, not like physically on top of the tower, but in addition to towering at home, what would he also be doing, or they also be doing?
15 villages on stone to build a castle somewhere?
I'm thinking stone walls. Yeah, like if with only palisade walls here, DauT could break through with the faster Castle Age. If he had stone walls, there's no potential for DauT to break through. So I actually think this is kind of a bad move for Villese to not have done that. And now he's building a tower, which I guess will be helpful, but still could be a concern.
Okay, let's take a look. The counterattack by Villese shouldn't really get too much. DauT, I think even if he tries to go in, the tower will be in time. So, yeah, stonewalling would have been safe. Obviously, massive investment with May, it's a bit cheaper. But he feels like, okay, 2 towers will secure me anyways. And soon he has enough skirms out.
Yep. Yep, he's got that up. Also, DauT didn't do, he didn't really hide the fact he was going to arrive there either. Like maybe, I was thinking maybe wait for Crossbow Bodkin, then try and break through with a few more numbers. And those numbers are now looping over to the right side. So he's got 5 in the north, 5 in the middle now. This is game 5, King of the Desert 3 quarterfinals. Exactly what Memb, I'm sure, was hoping for, is to see that first best of 5 go to 5 games for the viewers.
Oi, oi, oi. So, but DauT can't really find any damage. I think looking at this, he needs to drop TCs. And actually, that's a spot where you even want to drop 2 TCs.
Okay. It's cheap with Britons. You have to take advantage of either the extra range or those cheap town centers. And it really sucks because the right side of his base would have been so good for woodlines to TC. I guess he'll have to do the other side now.
Yeah, that's surely less pretty. Look at that. Wild TC, not including the gold there. Would have loved to see it a bit further down. And where is he building his 30C? I don't find a good spot.
All right, DauT sees the skirms are on the way. These aren't elite yet. Now they are. DauT using the range to try and micro down the skirmishers, but that's pretty much all he'll have. This is not ideal in DauT's position to already see elite skirm and to have done no damage at Villese's base.
Oh man, and boy, do I love Age of Empires in 2020. So many names that we don't repeatedly see in the finals actually making deep runs, and Villese, he's putting himself in a very good spot to be one of those stories this year. Game 5 deciders, skirms are pushing back, all that, and, well, still having a lot of map control. What's so funny?
I'm laughing because when DauT's winning, chat is moving like 3 times as fast on stream. When DauT's losing, there's so many DauT fans just like, oh my god, what's happening? And I'm kind of feeling the nerves right now too. Like, this would be an amazing result if DauT gets the win, but if you were to lose after going up 2 games, oh man, and now you see the crossbows. That's actually good micro from DauT considering the situation. Great micro from DauT considering the situation, but he's still not going to be able to get any damage in at Villese's base.
Did okay there. A pause now. Kind of the series of lots of pauses. I'm a bit surprised.
Just wait till Hera Leary later on.
Oh boy, yeah.
Good thing Bact isn't in the quarterfinals. Can you imagine a best of 5 between Hera and Bact? Be like 6 pauses a game. Some tech tree pauses and some smoke pauses.
In the old Nations Cups, like 2010, Germany against Vietnam, we played Black Forest as our home map.
Oh god.
And they always paused at the start because it was explored and discussed like who walls where for 5 minutes. And there were no rules against that. And then we played 4 minutes. They called a restart and the regame, and they paused again for 5 minutes.
Okay, normally I would say that's pretty bad on their part, but you picked Black Forest as a home map, so I think that you should just live with it.
And then we called the restart, and in the 3rd try, they paused, and then 7 or 8 minutes they discussed before we actually start the game.
I feel like you've had plenty of nightmares about this. you remember this like it was yesterday. Okay.
It still hurts like it was yesterday, yeah.
So one thing that DauT hasn't done is try to see where those forward vills went. Those forward vills have been taking gold this entire time. And DauT hasn't looped around there once. He does have crossbows running forward to Villese's base now. And this is a sizable group. But I'm surprised that DauT didn't do that. Are you surprised that DauT... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, are you surprised that DauT hasn't added siege? But there it is.
Mangonels, where can they really find a good pressure point? Main gold? It feels so weird to say it, but against the last map, a castle edge all in by DauT could actually make quite some sense. But look at the stone count of Villese.
He just deleted Palisade Wall in the north, so I wasn't sure if he was going to send Vills out there to castle the hill. Still really curious where he would place that castle. He needs it. Like, it's 21 military versus 13, and he's going to place the castle right next to the TC, so almost expecting that level of pressure.
Oh, and that is a good spot, surely, to protect his main gold. The gold behind that one could have maybe gone a bit further down, but then it is more risky. DauT wants to pressure this one. Can DauT maybe think of the long term and get up to Imp a bit earlier? Well, for now, Villese doesn't have a lot of
DauT, don't kill your own crossbows. Don't kill your own crossbows here. He thought about trying to deny that, and I don't think he's very happy to see that he can't pressure with all this siege.
Oh, that's ugly. Look at the army value. 2.5k against 1k.
Yeah.
And DauT, he did hurt the tower a bit. Nothing more.
Yeah, that's it. And lost a few crossbows. Nearly long term, there's one thing that can really be devastating to the Britons. Well, there's a few things, actually, but main thing I was thinking of is an elite eagle switch. That with El Dorado, 100 HP eagles, while Britons do have champions to counter that, be rough. The other thing that comes to mind is also Siege Ram. But DauT does have the crossbow momentum. DauT has 70 villagers versus 75 of Villese. As close as it could get after 2 very different openings to the game. And DauT could even it up a bit with a few snipes, but no ballistics.
Hurts so much. Now goes for the starting TC, and, well, what is he really going for? It's still 8 skirmishes. Villese, where's his army?
Yeah, I think Villese has just been booming a lot. Remember that game that was, as he's making a tower here, do you remember the game where we were questioning when Villese had a 30 lead where his military was? Well, I said at that time, if the game was closer, DauT would be coming back, and this game is pretty close, but oh, the TC snipes Mangonel, and now Villese has the hill. I think with these skirms and a Mangonel, DauT might need to be worried about this, and he is.
Well, I'm not really sure what the monk has as a plan there. Just goes to the front with a relic in his hand. But yeah, monastery is there, so it makes a lot of sense. And who do you think will be up to Imperial here?
I think it really depends on the decision making and upgrades and all that, but I would say it's going to be rather close. And after watching the last few minutes and how this game is developing, I think DauT's going to be tempted to go for a forward castle to the south of the castle from Villese and go up to Imp and Trebit. But after those words leave my mouth, I see the resources for Villese, and clearly Villese is going to be faster. So I take that back.
DauT dropping the buildings, has enough stone for a castle, builds it in the center of the map, so doesn't want to pressure the gold. He did see that all 3 gold spots are at the right-hand side, but didn't feel like he could put on the pressure.
Okay, so 4 tiles of gold is nearly math.
3.2 if you are not Mayans.
Okay, 3,200 gold if you're not Mayans. Les is Mayans, but this was DauT's gold, and there's only there's less than 2,000 gold remaining there. Those 4 villagers, even if he were to lose them now, they've paid for themselves. What they did in the early stages and also taking that gold is going to mean a lot as this game goes on.
Yeah, they surely got quite a bit. The ram there. How did that crossbow get into that spot? Look at that, he was completely walled in next to the ram.
I think he was ramming down the tower and tried to eject the crossbows, and one just got stuck in there.
What?
But, Nilly, DauT's not even up yet. And Villese has amazing eco, a lot on gold, and is prepping an eagle switch, and DauT's crossbows could be trapped here.
Oh, this is ugly. And he's adding more archery ranges in the spot where he should go for a mass amount of champions.
Oh my god, I thought that was Villese's Mangonel that whole time. I'm so dumb.
Well, there was a Mangonel coming.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened, but I was like, DauT isn't microing. Villese isn't microing. What's happening? Here's the real fight.
Well, maybe still the same
It's
story.
The same thing.
Well, Villese is microing. You got that right.
DauT split like 3 seconds after Villese should have shot. Okay, so that was deja vu. And finally, DauT's imping. He's got to expect eagles here. I'll wait to see more barracks from DauT.
Oh god, yeah, but as I said, more archery ranges. No, this feels so bad. Oh god, DauT will struggle so much. He's blocking the gold. That is good for him, but there's no real answer to the eagles. Now more Mangonels.
Yeah, also, as these crossbows are getting trapped in here, DauT will split. It feels like a useless fight, right? Take out the siege. Like, who cares? The crossbows are doomed either way. DauT's in big trouble. He was up 2-0 in this best-of-5 quarter. Villese, who beat Tato yesterday 3-0, is in this position now where he has the world at his feet. He could do anything. He could raid on the sides. He could go Trebor with eagles. So much gold on the right side for him to take still, and has it all scouted nearly. He even has that 3-tile gold in the back of DauT's base scouted.
Oh, lovely. And yeah, you said it's not that important, the fight there at the right-hand side, because the crossbows are doomed anyways, but what it did is that Villese could hide his tech switch even further. And this is the first time that DauT actually sees the eagles.
I feel like it's something you should always expect, but he made more ranges, and he made more crossbows, and if you haven't seen a crazy score switch before in Age of Empires, pay attention to it, because if the raids come in on multiple sides, I think we'll see a massive score switch if Villese finds Vil picks. I do like the castle positions for DauT, though, Nilly. It really protects against the early eagle raid.
Yeah, that is lovely for sure. Oh god, look at that. 8 pierce armor on those eagles already. DauT even needs to get chemistry to do 2 damage again.
I think DauT's dead, Nilly. Like, how can he stop this? I'm watching units run. I'm watching villagers repair. if Villese hits the gold on the right, which he should know to do, DauT won't have that. I mean, no champion tech switch whatsoever, and he's only at 30 on food, and that's after he had 18, and he's garrisoning now. It's just, everything's idle.
It feels so weird that DauT is just so stubborn with his Obelisk. Does he think he can make something happen there? As I said, like, you do 2 damage, so once Eldorado comes in, you need 50 shots to kill an eagle.
Wow. Crazy stuff here. Villese also with 2 relics, could maybe get a third if he does go to the southern corner. I'm just watching the castle now. DauT was trying his best to hold the hill. That castle will go down. Eldorado, maybe it was later than Villese would have wanted, but a crucial upgrade, which gives these eagles that 100 HP, will be in. I'd say in this situation, if Britain's had that champion tech switch coming, it's about like weathering the storm. But there's endless gold for Villese as he raids DauT's gold on the right. Villese will never run out of gold.
DauT is still 30 population ahead, but we mentioned it so many times now. Those eagles are just a unit designed to kill ranged units, and Britain's so reliant on those.
And every gold that DauT was on the flanks has been cleared out now. So good from Villese to focus on that, and big fight in the middle. Here he goes. DauT has 44 military. 42 of it is here, Nilly. He's still repairing the castle. He's out of stone. He's killing a lot, but I don't know if DauT's going to have a lot left after this fight.
He's doing a good job. Eagle numbers aren't that crazy here. How many are sending in? 10. Okay, more coming from the side. DauT now sold wood to buy stone to get to the repairs, but 3 traps and 2 of them on the hill. This castle is gone.
What I'm thinking is, like, right there, I was expecting like 20, 30 more eagles to come in for Villese. He didn't do that. Maybe he shifts back. Instead of fighting that main Arb army, just raids DauT to death. That way DauT's eco's too weak to make any switch into champion.
Yeah, well, just constantly raiding the gold makes it so easy to know that your opponent is not going for those crazy Obelisk numbers. Though DauT is still doing an okay job. Has 48 on the field.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt like I wanted to say something more, right? But then the raid came in at the bottom here, and DauT is losing quite some more.
Gotcha. No, it was like you cut out.
Yeah, how I said that. Yeah, no, I know.
All right. Well, it's interesting how even the population is right now. It's just the amount of control Villese is at. Villese is prepping siege workshops, most likely for siege ram, and that's where siege ram comes in. There wouldn't be much of a chance. Is Villese taking a fight here he can win, Nilly? He takes the hill against the Arbs.
And oh, look at that! It was 49 crossbows. That's why he couldn't one-shot those eagles. It was one short. He did so many volleys, but never found the kill. And now the big surround here with the eagles. DauT is dropping in population. Villese is taking the supply lead here, something we didn't have in quite some time.
Wow. Yeah, Villese finally with the eco lead, military lead, leading every category. If DauT had to switch out of this, maybe he'd have a chance, but I'm looking around. He can't take his golds. What an incredible comeback from Villese. Everyone counted him out yesterday, said that he wouldn't beat Tato to make it into the quarters. He 3-0'd Tato, and then he was down 2 games against DauT. And he's actually going to do this, Nilly. This is ridiculous.
Oh, man. And that's what... as you said, after the 2-0, it felt like pretty... I was already taking a look at the clock and felt like, okay, how the other series is going to shape up. But Villese is going into the semifinals, guaranteeing himself $4,000 at least, the biggest performance of his life.
Biggest performance of his life, and Villese has been competing for years. It's not like he showed up recently. He and the Max have been known as Finnish powerhouses. They might not create the content, they might not have the personalities, but they show up to play, and the preparation was there. I'm so gutted because I was so pleased for DauT. Like, the comeback against Leary in the group stages to make it into the quarters. It was something that you and I had said yesterday. DauT's probably more happy to be facing Villese today than Tato, which was a possibility. So I'm so upset that DauT is out of the tournament. But at the same time, how can you not appreciate a player like Villese, who's beaten both Tato and DauT, and now goes into the semis? Crazy upset.
and he was number 1 in the ranking in Boobly like 3 years ago, but never could really go to the crazy performance. Like we had some round of 8s for him. We had him, well, having solid performances against other people that are in the top 16, but never on that scale killing Tato, now DauT. Oy. He will take a close look at the other quarterfinal because he will face MBL or Dogao, and honestly, I think he will have chances there.
Yeah, he could definitely, if he can beat DauT, he can beat MBL, and he could beat Dogao as well. Another quarterfinal to come up. Let's backtrack on this game, and then let's talk a little bit about the series as a whole, if we have the time for that. Mayans versus Britons wasn't a huge surprise for either of us. DauT lost 2 GOATs. People right now are saying laming is so OP. 2 GOATs, not that big a deal, but it's enough of a deal where maybe you can't go for DauT's strategy on an open map. Would you agree, Nilly?
Well, especially with those 2 civilizations, that is a big deal, right?
Yeah, okay.
It is
Fair.
minus 200 food of the civilization that has a sheep bonus, and it is plus 200 food with the civilization that even has an extra food bonus.
Yeah,
like you're getting more out of those sheep. So the difference is over 400 food there of free food. So let's not get into the laming discussion again, but I think it was a significant advantage for Villese from the
Do you
start
feel
of
as
the game.
though DauT didn't do himself any favors going for the FC and inviting the pressure? Like, maybe going with the faster range production in Feudal, trying to take control, pressuring Villese instead of inviting pressure upon himself and then giving him time to boom.
I felt his woodline wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I think if you go FC, you want to have the safe woodline and maybe a bit of the bigger wall at the right-hand side, and then he has it easier to defend against the first tower.
Sure. Yeah, what I was thinking was, and it's so easy to say now, we're talking about Feudal Age when we could break down Castle Age and Imp 2. In that situation, if I fall behind, I don't want to give the opponent a chance to take my food and then also take map control. So in my eyes, I was surprised that DauT, of all players, didn't try for Man-at-Arms into a quick range switch, take advantage of the faster ranges, and take control in the mid game. Just want to clarify something. When what I meant to say, like when I said Max and Villese didn't have the personality, I meant they didn't have they didn't create content like Tato and DauT and all these players do. I didn't mean to create any drama or be rude with that.